Well, hello everyone. Welcome to a lovely woodland idyll where we are going to frolic in the forest and gather acorns and murder things and engage in political intrigue and warfare and things like that. So it should be a lovely evening. Hey, Misha, you are steering us tonight, so why don't you kick us off?
All right. So I'm Misha underscore lesson three. Also, you can just call me Misha. I'm GMing this game. Yay! So we're going to be playing the Root RPG, which is a powered by the apocalypse based system, which is themed around the board game Root, a game of woodland might and right. So the board game itself is like an asymmetric war game. It features widely different factions of anthropomorphic animals that vie for power. I actually don't own that one. I own Vast, which is by the same board game company, but I think I'd like both of them. It's an interesting way of doing a war game. But anyway, while the board game focuses on all the different factions, the RPG follows the Vagabond faction as the focal point in your story. They are a group of miscreants, rogues, outcasts, renegade heroes who adventure across the woodland, and in some cases may affect the outcome of the faction war that's happening in the background. So how about we go around? We can start with Tough. Just do a brief introduce yourself and your brief intro on the character, and then I'll do some more woodland history stuff.
Cool. All right, I am 90 Tough Lover, Tough for Torkelton or some other variety of nickname. I am a variety streamer on Twitch. I play lots of different games. Sometimes I run games. I'll be running part 2 of Masks Unfathomable this coming Sunday. And then I'll probably be in more stuff here at some point, and one day I'll stream again outside of TTRPGs. But until then, I am playing V, who is in Otter. She is the chronicler, and she's very fascinated with history and reading and political intrigue and all that fun stuff. So, be a good time. Go Sin.
Hi, I'm Sin, or sinful underscore potato with 2 underscores. You can find me here on Twitch at that username, or Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Yeah, I post art to Instagram. I do random stuff on Twitter. I post stuff to the YouTubes. Nothing yet on TikTok. And I occasionally pop up in chats on Twitch and stream on Twitch. Yeah. My character is Fritz, who is a cat, and they like the boom booms and fire, and low-key a pyromaniac that likes to cause chaos. Just a ball of fire. Just a ball of chaos. Pure chaos. Yeah. Why?
Hello, I'm Twi'lek, and I will be playing Hector, who is a heron. I'm a bit disreputable, and I am a tinker. I repair things. SJ.
I'm SJ, or SJ underscore sidekick. I am playing a frog ranger nicknamed Tack. And yeah.
Oh, yes, I am Zero or Zero Daylight or Michael, and you can usually see me here, and sometimes other places, but mostly here. And tonight I will be playing Marshmallow Nimblesmirk. Everyone calls him Marsh because Marshmallow is a silly name. He is a weasel. I mean, he's technically a mink, so he's better than other weasels, but he doesn't want to claim that because he's a weasel of the people. He is a raconteur. So he loves telling stories. He's kind of a legend around the wilderness, like everyone knows who he is. It's awesome. He has a very fancy garish cape and a lovely little prop sword from a play he did a long time ago that he carries around, and a harp with 1 string.
All completely normal things to carry around with you
Yeah.
in the woodland. So I'm going to go over the woodland and its history for a little bit, so bear with me. Some of this I've paraphrased from the core rulebook. of this game. So the woodland itself is the name for the entire forested area of resources, clearings, and denizens. The denizens are the woodland's peoples. All of them are anthropomorphic animals. There are no humans in this setting whatsoever. All these anthropomorphic animals are things that are like smaller than a wolf. Wolf size or smaller. And they're all just regular sized, people sized. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So the woodland itself comprises of thick, deep forest divided by clearings and paths. Clearings are large areas where denizens made in ages past, and that's where the majority of denizens live. The paths were similarly cut down long ago, connecting the clearings between the wild, dangerous space of the forest. No good, self-respecting denizen will go into the forest unless they have to. The bandits, thieves, and miscreants often take refuge there, not to mention dangerous creatures that abide within, from enormous and terrible bears to strange and hidden deer. Those are normal animals, they're just very big. So the modern history of the woodland begins with the rule of the Erie dynasties, a collective of birds that ruled over the clearings for many years. But a few decades ago, an unknown catalyst triggered the Grand Civil War among the disparate Erie dynasties, tearing down their established order. When the dust settled, denizens were left to pick up the pieces of their destroyed clearings. This interbellum period of peace lasted for some time. All of our Vagabond characters would have grown up during this time. But in the absence of another great power controlling the woodland, the Marquise de Cat, a powerful and dangerous noble of the far-off empire, swept in to seize the opportunity of taking the woodland resources for herself. She led her forces to invade the woodland, bringing it under the control of the Marquisate. The Marquisate might have had total control if the Erie dynasties hadn't recovered enough to try and retake the woodland. And in a surprise gambit, the Great Underground Duchy rose from their burrowed tunnels to drive back the Marquisate forces. Both the Great Underground Duchy and the Eries then had a conflict. In fact, the effort to drive back the Marquisate took more of their forces than they expected, perhaps caused in part by the Corvid Conspiracy, which is an anarchic secret society that historically vied against the Erie dynasties and is working in the shadows against, everybody. So there's a map of the woodland, if you would like to bring that up.
Yes, I shall do so.
So
So all of that explanation.
Cool. Sorry about that. I will fix that. So go back and tell us a little bit, and I will fix that as we talk.
okay, was I taught? Where did you last hear?
No, it's literally when we transitioned.
Oh, okay. So just the map discussion.
Yeah.
I was mostly just talking
2 minutes.
about where things are on the map. Oh, is that why we had silence plot discovery here?
Yeah.
All right. So you'll just have to imagine
I can switch it back.
that. Okay. Will I have sound when it switches back?
You should have sound now.
All right. I'll begin anew. So, Tonnery is where the Marquisate first approached from the northwest. Patchwood is the Eyrie Dynasty's main stronghold, and they had the conflict with the cats. They moved to the northwest. The cats moved down towards the southeast. There's a lot of conflict in the middle. The Great Underground Duchy first sprung up in Tonnery, which basically unseated the Marquisate's main area of power. And then the Eyrie Dynasty and the Marquisate had some more fighting in mainly the middle section, the main middle clearings of the map. So during that time, that's probably when the Corvid conspiracy started spreading out and infiltrating different clearings in order to figure it out. So a lot of the fighting happened in this main western section of the map. We'll be starting our game in Flatholm. Due to several reasons, we'll get to those in a minute. All right, you can switch back. And then we can go over the Vagabonds in more detail. So I know you've covered some of these things before, but we can start with tough again. And we can start off with the name, species, your details, your playbook, your nature and drives, any moves that you think are extra cool that you have, brief overview of your equipment, and then I'll ask you the background questions.
Right. So I am playing Vidara Patami, or V for short. She is the chronicler, which basically means that she's trying to track history. She loves history. You could say she loves the lore. She's kind of just cute and tiny, little backpack, lots of scrolls, big ol' honkin' Harry Potter glasses. And she's just like really sweet and adorable and doesn't cause problems ever at all for knowledge. So she has some nice humble robes, just to make her look more friendly and approachable, so that she can, maybe do spy work. And then she has a nice little slingshot that she uses from a range mostly to distract enemies. She's not much of a fighter, definitely more of just wants to sit back, observe, and write down stuff. And then she has a fishing pole, because, she's all about fishing and lore. And yeah, and she, by nature, is an observer, so she gets to clear her exhaustion track when she enters a dangerous situation to try to witness a significant or secret event or meet an important individual.
Well, there might be some of those coming up. So I'll go over the background questions quick. So where do you call home? It's either a clearing or the woods or not in this woodland.
Yeah, I think that B is from Oakenholt.
Okay. Cool. And why is V a vagabond? Probably the lore? Oh, wait, you have actual specific reasons too, I think, that are listed somewhere.
Yes. I think that I have sworn an oath to record true, unbiased history. So that is my goal.
And who inspired your love of history?
I think it was an old mentor. Really old otter. Just taught me things.
Are they alive? Were they in Oakenhold?
I think that they have passed, but they were in Oakenhold.
Okay. Hold on. Definitely not needing to take down any notes about anything. Next question is, you probably already answered these you had already done the faction tracks, right? So which faction had you served the most, and which faction had you earned a special enmity?
So I have served the Corvid conspiracy the most. done a little bit of historical recollection for them, and what better way to get history knowledge than to work with spies so you can get into all the places that they won't let me go. Those freaking Erie people are so stuck up about sharing their records, so I just gotta get in there. And then because of that, I've kind of pissed off the Erie dynasties, so they don't really like me, like, at all.
Now, I will mention that the entire group pissed off the Erie dynasty also.
Yeah.
So that's just like extra on top.
Big
Like,
time.
Yeah, I pissed them off a little bit more before we all pissed them off again. So
yeah, it's very good.
yeah. And then I also have some repertoire with the denizens on accident, but also on purpose, definitely. I meant to do that.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, I wasn't just, out for my own game. It's fine.
Of course not. All right, Fritz, tell us a bit about you.
So, Fritz's full name is Faux Sinclair. Faux being French for fire. Playbook is the scoundrel, and they are a cat. Their pronouns are they, them. Fritz's nature is Arsonist, which is to clear your exhaustion track when you use needlessly destructive or damaging methods to solve a problem. Their details are they're scarred. They have a full face mask, a mouse steel spark lighter, an overly large coat with lots of pouches, all the pockets. And they're shifty. Their drives are chaos and infamy. Infamy. Their moves that they have. One is the danger mask. So they have a mask that they wear when they go out at their most destructive work. So it's more of a calling card, an identifier of the real them than a disguise. That's the mask they wear. And Arsonist is a move that allows me to roll with luck instead of might when I wreck something.
This is great. So many things are going to get destroyed.
Right.
Yeah, with flagrantly dangerous means, so explosives, uncontrolled flame, etc. Yeah.
All right, let's go through the background questions. So, where do you call home?
I was thinking Fire Hollow.
All right.
That
And then, why are you a vagabond?
Because they're on the run for a destructive crime. That destructive crime being that they blew up a potato farm, and it forever haunts
There
them.
it is.
Yeah, sure is. Where was this potato farm located?
Patchwood?
Where?
Patchwood.
Perfect. Love it. So whom did you leave behind when you became a vagabond?
My family of other cat species.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you already filled out your checkboxes for which faction you serve the most and which faction had you earned special enmity.
Yeah. So Fritz has served the Corvid conspiracy the most because the boom booms with the spies
Yeah.
seemed good. And the one that they earned a special enmity for, I can't say words, I'm sorry, is the GUD because they don't like chaos and Fritz is just pure chaos.
Accurate. All right. Perfect. So then we move on to Hector.
Hey, I am playing Hector, and I am a heron. My nature is a radical, which means that I will be sabotaging the party by mouthing off to people and telling them exactly the wrong thing to their face. I am also ambitious and greedy, so pretty much a normal player, really. As a tinker, I can repair things and I can dismantle things. And I have a very nice hat, as you can see, which is friendly and unassuming, which means that hopefully people will like me because I'm wearing a good hat. And I have a bow as well, which will allow me to, shoot things because that's a normal thing to do.
When the hat doesn't work.
Yes. Let's see. So let's do the background questions for you. So where do you call home?
I think I was in one of the clearings owned by the Irie establishment.
Okay. Do you want the main one or one of the back two?
The capital, why not?
Sure. So Patchwood. Perhaps you remember the time a potato field exploded there.
It was terrifying.
So much death.
It's a shame they never caught the heretic that did that.
Real shame.
There had to be a couple that came out like cooked perfectly though.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, that's
delicious
right.
baked potatoes still has ever seen.
So why is Hector a vagabond?
Oh, because I mouthed off to the wrong person, of course.
Oh, who'd you mouth off to?
The mayor of Patchwood, who isn't in charge of the Irie conspiracy as a whole, but he is the most important person of the city leaders.
Yeah. While we're talking about people that are angry at you, who did you steal your toolbox from?
My father.
Oh. Don't mind me, just taking notes. Let's see, where are we at on our question list? So whom have you left behind to be on your life as a vagabond?
I had a best friend who was a poor potato farmer.
Did they survive the explosion?
They did. And they have sworn vengeance, but they don't know where to look.
Oh, cool. What's your friends' names?
Alicia.
What species is Felicia?
Oh, another bird. Maybe she is a kingfisher.
Ooh.
All right, this is fun. This is fun. And then I think we're at the point. Yes. So I think you also had filled out the factions at a time. So which ones have you served the most, and which ones have earned you a special enmity?
After I became a vagabond, I did a couple of jobs for the duchy. So, you know, I'm in close with them, and the denizens, of course, as the group did as a whole. And the people who are most angry at me would be the mayor of the Irie dynasties. So he really, really didn't like what I had to tell him.
Yeah, sounds like it. All right. Tack, tell us about yourself.
So, I am Ronnie Tackfoot, or just Tack for short. Like I said, I'm a frog ranger. My nature is I'm cynical. Details, so my demeanor is mistrusting. I'm driven by revenge and freedom. As far as factions, it's kind of torn on who to choose, but I figure I'll go Corvid is where I started, and then I left because I liked the idea of the Corvid conspiracy undermining certain powers, but then there were a lot of people that were very much took advantage that had high positions, and I didn't like the corruption within it. It kind of seemed super hypocritical, so I ended up leaving. Which plays into my background questions of who I left behind. Is I had a commander I really respected, but they couldn't convince me to stay.
All right, what's their name?
Oh god, I'm just gonna look at chat and choose.
Oh yeah,
Commander
there's going to be
Damon.
like a ton of NPCs. So if anyone wants to do NPC me and pick a nice generic fantasy name, I'll just collect them and throw them in the pile.
Yeah, it's just gonna be Commander Damon. We're gonna do that.
All right. What species? You just want to go with like a raven or something? Crow?
Sounds about right.
All right. Say crow. Okay. So let's see. Let's see. So where do you call home?
Probably. I probably came from like Rooston. There's water there. So
That's cool. Might be going there soon. And I believe so. Why your vagabond is related to the leaving the
I
Corvid conspiracy.
dislike the hypocrisy of society.
All right. You left them behind, and so you filled out the extra faction bits. I don't know if you had done this part.
I did not.
All right,
I wasn't
so
sure which faction yet. I was waiting to hear the background.
okay. So I think you can add two to one of them, and then add one notoriety to the one that is a problem.
Okay.
Yeah. You can add in the gray section.
Yeah.
It works a little weird. I can explain it later.
Yeah.
But
We blew up a great underground duchy thing, and we all have not a great reputation with them, which is why you're already
Yeah.
at -1.
it was an Erie Dynasties thing. But yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so if you want notoriety, you'll just put one of the gray check mark. Yeah, there. And then the 2 will go on, yeah, there. Perfect. All right, so you pick the Great Underground Duchy as the notoriety.
Figure both the places that have power I'll just have,
Yes.
because they were probably undermined by the Corvid
Exactly.
conspiracy.
Yeah, and I feel like you left Corvid Conspiracy. You worked with them, so you left on fairly good terms, but you weren't happy with the situation. if that sounds correct.
Yeah.
All right. I think that was all the questions. So, Marsh,
Yes.
you already kind of went over some of your character, but if you just wanted to recap quick.
Well, so I'm kind of a legend, by which that's by nature. So I love giving performances instead of in front of large and attentive audiences. It fills me with energy and joy. It also helps me to maintain clean paws because I very much enjoy contributing to heists and other underhanded things, but having a lovely alibi. So I actually, while people are watching me perform, all of my friends find it easier to pick locks and pick pockets and sneak around and do stuff. I have adoring fans everywhere I go. So every time I enter a new clearing, someone will rush up and tell me all the wonderful things and all the rumors and developments around town. And I can actually whack the crap out of someone with my prop sword if I need to. And my harp, it's the F sharp harp. It only has the F sharp string. I've also taught myself how to use it as a bow. I am much beloved by the average denizen of the wilderness, to the extent that I have achieved the first level of fame with them, and I'm anxious to do more. I'm like most of my party, I'm not so beloved by the Aries. They're, all stuck up and stuff. And I think other than that, I don't really care for the Underground Duchy. I'm kind of neutral with regard to the COVID conspiracy. The Corvid conspiracy. I am not neutral regarding the first one. I feel very strongly about it. The second one, it's okay. Don't like the mole people. They don't have a lot of sense of humor. They don't laugh and cheer when I get up and do my little song and dance. So, yeah, they're just the worst. They also don't peck your eyes out, so they're not the worst.
Got that going for you.
Yeah.
So, where do you call home?
I call home wherever my hat is, by which I mean my fancy cloak. I kind of have traveled all over. I think I probably am most from maybe Oakenhold?
Okay.
Or maybe Underleaf. I kind of like, I like the idea of like seeing water. Having a little pied a terre where I can look out over the ocean. So I guess Oakenhold.
Okay. So why are you a vagabond?
Well, look, it's kind of like a big fish, little pond sort of situation. I had already become so famous in my hometown that I thought it was important to just go out and, bring joy and news and spread rumors and things throughout the Woodland.
All right. So whom have you wronged and how?
Oh, well, there's quite a list, but it kind of depends upon your perspective. There is a baker in Rooston that I made up a bawdy tune about. And it kind of caught on. I mean, I would tell you, but this is a kid's show. But anyway, it was kind of a play on words about his name and the shape of a certain pastry that he makes and an allusion to a bit of his anatomy. It was very, very clever.
Yeah. What's his name?
I have no idea. His name is George Carrot.
Species? Is he a rabbit?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Something George Carrot, something Trouser Ferret. So it didn't really make some people happy. But anyway, so he has felt a little bit of shame, and I feel a little bad about it. But it did get me lots of tips because people thought it was hilarious.
Perfect. All right. I think you already explained your faction situation. So how about y'all tell us a story about why the Erie Dynasty doesn't like you and why the denizens of of a what is it, Flathome really like you?
Look, Fritz was supposed to cause a little distraction, and then it went big boom. But all I wanted were some scrolls out of the secret library that the Erie Dynasty had there. That I got them. But yeah, we kind of wound up driving the Erie Dynasty out on accident, which I guess made people like us. But nah, the Erie Dynasty really doesn't like us.
Yeah, it turns out the secret library was in the back part of the barracks, and Fritz maybe miscalculated the amount of, black powder needed to just make a little distraction. And basically, when the entire barracks goes up, people seize the opportunity. So the denizens have retaken Flathome recently. I think you guys probably cleared town for a bit, but you ended up getting a missive from the newly appointed mayor, who does not yet have a name. But I'll just look at my little name generator thing. I got this fancy GM screened thing. Ooh. But it has a bunch of names on it. So yeah, we'll go with Mayor Cinder. Sent you a little letter and asked for you guys to come help out. And at her directive is why you are back in the woods hunting bandits.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Not exactly in your wheelhouse.
Doesn't sound like me at all.
It's definitely not in their wheelhouse either. So they said, she told you, listen, you caused a lot of problems. I appreciate the fact. She's a fox. Let me see. I think I wrote down her description. Sharp, no nonsense. And she's like, there's a lot of stuff happening in Flathome. They're still repairing from some of the collateral damage, and would really just appreciate if you would just take care of the bandit problem in the woods, since they don't have any more soldiers here to guard them. So that's why you all are walking through the woods on the bandits' trail. What do you do?
Are we doing
I look
connection
like a soldier.
questions at all?
Oh yeah, are we doing those?
Oh yeah, connection questions. Let's do those. You start thinking about your connections while you're on the road in the forest.
Yeah.
We'll just go around quick. We can start with Marsh. Go around the other way.
Oh crap.
Oh no.
So I think I am. Who would I be friends with? I mean, who is most?
To be honest, it might be V, because she's also from Oakenhold, I believe.
Sure. Yes. I like it. And someone I feel like I need to protect. I need to protect Tack, because Tack is so little and squishy. And I know that Tack is actually like much better at these things than I am, but he's just like, you're the tiny little frog guy. I'm gonna help you.
All right, Tack, your connections.
So Watcher, I was tricked, conned, or deceived by blank once. I figure that will be Fritz. Because they're chaotic.
We've all been there.
So it's So it's why do I choose to continue working with them? They actually did come through and we were actually helping the town, so I'll, tentative alliance, I suppose. And then Protector, I did something that would have gotten me into the enmity of a Woodland faction. If Blank hadn't covered for me, I figure probably Marsh, because they're more charismatic and probably know the towns better. I'm more in the shadows, not dealing with people, so they probably swooped in and were like, "Oh no! Don't listen to what she said."
So we have
actually what happened.
So we have each other's backs. I like it.
Yeah.
Good, because you're better at fighting than I am.
All right, Hector.
I have a peer who, if I share information with them, we both get +1 for acting on the answers. And if I help them attempt a roguish feat, then you gain choices on the help move as if you're back to exhaustion, where you mark 1 exhaustion. And I feel like V is probably the best, the relationship that's most like a peer with me. And I also have a family connection. And none of your birds.
Be an interesting.
It could be by marriage
Down
or
family.
adoption.
Yeah.
I have no connections with TAC at the moment, so I must well do that.
Everyone's adopting this little frog. So small, needs protect. The one who's most capable of fighting, I think.
Right. Everyone's like, no, stand back, Tack. They'll kill you. And Tack's like, hold my beer.
Oh, look at her little throwing stars. They're even smaller.
That's sweet. Also, you're kind of slimy.
All right, Fritz.
We're gonna do the second one first. The partner connection. I'm gonna say Tack and I destroyed a faction's resource on behalf of another on behalf of an opposing faction. So we destroyed the GUD's resource on behalf of Corvid conspiracy. Why? Because I don't know.
You wanted to make an explosion and someone said you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that has a mechanical benefit, right? Oh no, it's when you feel in this connection, you each mark 2 prestige with the faction you helped,
Ooh,
which is the Corvid conspiracy.
beautiful.
And then you mark 2 notoriety with the faction you harmed, which is what, the GUD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The duchy?
The mole people.
Yeah. And you can have... Oh, okay. Hey, Tack, so when you get up to 3,
Yeah.
you're just gonna clear those 3, and then you're just gonna make that -1 box highlighted? Perfect, thanks.
Yeah. It's like filling a meter, and then you start back and then fill it up again.
And it happened to Fritz too. I
Oh,
will say
good.
that you can have both prestige and notoriety building up at the same time, because it kind of moves the larger number around. We're looking at a very exciting
Spreadsheet.
reputation for Nick.
Yeah.
As you
Yeah.
do.
I'll also say that's probably when I got like conned or whatever. I probably got left holding the bag or something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's
Fritz would never.
Right. We've assigned you a
Or
highly...
they got a little bit too excited with the fire and stuff, and I was still like inside.
Yep. When the boom boom goes, the boom boom goes.
Yes.
And the friend connection that we once met and pulled off a mad, impossible stunt together. I'm gonna say is Marsh. So Marsh distracted the crowd with their lovely performance while I went and did boom booms.
Yes. And they
As,
thought it
like,
was just
fireworks.
pyrotechnics to enhance my
Yeah.
show. It was great. They were none the wiser until they went and they checked their whatever it was we robbed.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, V, your connections.
All right. So I have partners. Someone and I exposed a dark secret of a faction, leading to a meaningful political change. I think that was me and I think that was me and Hector.
Mm.
I think that we just for funsies. I think this was back in Patchwood I think I was there with the Corvid conspiracy doing some underground work, and this was probably right as Hector was mouthing off and getting kicked out. So I think that I convinced Hector to use his toolbox to help me break into the vault of secret troves that I was attempting to break into. So we helped the Corvid conspiracy and pissed off the Erie dynasty a little bit more.
Very good. So make sure you add 2 to the Corvid conspiracy and then add 2 to the Erie dynasty. Yes, it won't. Let me see. When does it move again?
Did you have to fill it all the way up to the next one?
Yeah, I think you have to fill it all the way up to -2 in order
Okay.
to keep it down, get it down to -1, if I recall. So, yes, very good.
All right, and then my peer. I think that Fritz sees the truth of the world, and I value their perspective deeply because, you know, I try to be a little bit more cautious for the most part. I want to be a little bit more friendly. But I also appreciate that Fritz has the drive to kind of just do whatever it takes to get the job done. So, yeah, I value Fritz's opinion.
The truth of the world is chaos.
Yeah, the truth of the
Only
world is
chaos.
that, I mean, hey, look, I'm a historian, so, you know, the world is chaos.
Turned into the Joker.
That's what drives history, is conflict.
I mean-
that's all the interesting stuff.
That is true insofar as you hang around with Fritz.
Yes,
But it's kind of a
exactly,
self-fulfilling
which is
prophecy.
Why I hang around with Fritz. Fritz causes history.
Okay.
It's a mutually beneficial relationship.
Yeah.
Exactly. So these connections are a reason why your group hangs out together and continues to adventure together. Because it's not very often that vagabonds will work as a group. It's usually like a solo thing. So eventually all of this happened and you became the full group and then destroyed, changed the control of the clearing, no biggie. And now you're in the woods looking for bandits. What do you do?
I regale the party with a tale of adventure and romance to help
we
them
should use
recover any
Hector as-
exhaustion, but they don't have any exhaustion. But still,
I
mean,
think
we've
should
been
use
walking a while.
Fritz's bait.
Yeah, Fritz is in the front. I am keeping an eye out for any potential, like, ruins or
Yes, ruins.
things like that. Because, you know,
You
it's
like
not
ruins?
often that I go out here.
Would prefer to sneak around, like, hop tree to tree, so that when the bandits come, they think there's only a couple of them.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Do you need us to splash you with water? Like occasionally, like to keep you moist?
We all have our canteen that's for Tech and our
So
canteen
little
that's for us.
spritzer.
This is
Anytime
probably not
I
how
stay
frog-
hydrated is through my skin. So.
Yeah, you're looking kind of ashy
Yeah.
there, Tack. You want a little
How
spritz?
dare you?
I'm trying to take care of you. In other words, not paying attention is what Marsh is doing.
All right.
Also not paying
I'm
attention. is what
sitting
he's
there trying to
doing.
be all tactical and cool, and they're like, "Fritz, you okay?" Or "Attack, you okay up there?" It's
But
like,
it's kind of
Can you
dry.
see any ruins from your vantage point?
Oh yes, we must find ruins. I love ruins a lot.
Yeah, ruins are the best.
Are they the ruins of the ancient human civilization from back before we killed them all for destroying the earth? Oh, I'm sorry. That's a different movie.
There's no such thing as humans. I don't know what you're talking
Yes,
about.
Humans.
their existence has been
Large.
excised from our history. Anyway, never mind.
So while you're all talking, you start to hear this. You hear the sounds, even following their tracks. I'm sure one of you is. It's Tack is good enough to track somebody through the forest. You hear the sound of voices up ahead, and they are all saying, "What? Do you hear that? Is there someone coming up to our camp?"
I'm
What
doing
do
like
you
hand
do?
signals, like, and, like we're going. We'll do this, and everyone else is probably
Friends.
like, "What are you talking about?"
I, of course, am humming the song about a baker who has a carrot.
Yeah.
I join in.
I'm taking to the trees.
We're just a band of wandering minstrels here to entertain strange encampments of people for a crust of bread.
We're good friends. We're friendly.
Yeah.
Right, Fritz?
I'm very unassuming.
All right, so the four of you approach the camp as a traveling band of minstrels in the middle of the forest. There's about 10 people here. They are all cats. They look like they're about to draw their weapons when you approach, but stop because you're like singing songs and stuff. That's weird. So someone can roll me a trick an NPC to get what you want, because you're going to have to...
Is this a clearing?
This is not a clearing.
Ah, rats.
Do you want me to roll roguish feet to stay hidden?
Sure.
Okay.
Just trying to remember if I told us on this. No.
I got a 9.
Okay. Let me actually look up the full text of the rules instead of my little cheat sheet one. Haha. We'll get there. One of these tabs will have what I need. How's that trick roll going?
I can do it.
I can assist you.
Cool. All right, and that's plus.
Yes.
So I got an 11.
Is there any benefit to getting a 12 in the system?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
at this
No.
level.
Then never mind. You've got it. I don't need to exhaust myself. You've got this handled. I start to go into a little dance, and then you're just like all super smooth. And I'm just like,
smooth.
you got it.
So I'm going
Just
to
so
resolve
cute.
the trick first,
Okay.
Okay.
because I think I just turned to that page. Or did I? There's persuade. There's read a tense situation. Trick an NPC.
Yeah, on a hit, they take the bait and do what you want.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so I think what you want out of this situation is that you are all just a bunch of innocent travelers.
Yep.
yes, and that would
Not-
probably be either. I think that one has a that should be on a, because a hit is a 7 to whatever. It should
Yes.
be on a 10 plus. They also do either they hesitate because their confidence is shaken, which doesn't make any sense. They stumble, like they kind of go, oh, and then we get an opportunity, or they overreact, giving V +1 forward in the interaction.
Yeah, I think in this case they just do what you want. There's no the 7 to 9 is you have to pick one of those things.
Oh, got it. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
So I think they are just doing what you want, which is presuming you to be a wandering band of minstrels ?
Yep, and not attacking us because
And not attacking you, and just being like, what you presume their leader is looks a little more well equipped than, say, the rest of it, has noticed the disturbance and is all like, oh, this is a weird place for a traveling band to be at. Are y'all lost?
We go where the
Yes.
wind takes us, which means yes.
Yes,
Oh.
we're very lost.
Well, you can share our campfire for the evening. The light's going down. It's a dangerous place at night.
Be
Very,
really
very
appreciated.
dangerous.
I don't want to be eaten by a bear.
Yeah, bears. Don't worry. We've taken care of any of the bears around here. You'll be perfectly safe if you just want to settle down, maybe lighten your load, set your packs over there.
Oh, our loads are already pretty light. You know, the life of a wandering minstrel. Basically, you've got your instrument and a crust of bread, and, you know, that's about it.
Oh,
Be frantically pushing down all of the scrolls in her backpack.
Well, and of course
There are
your
lyric sheets.
yeah, exactly, and your lyrics, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, your lyrics too. I'm a little surprised you didn't get provisions at the last clearing. I mean, you're not too far from Flathome.
Oh, really?
Must have missed it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so while this conversation is going on, so I looked up attempt to roguish feat, as you do. So since you got a 7 to 9, you either have to mark exhaustion or one risk of your feat. My choice comes to bear. So for sneaking, it'd be you'd break something, draw unwanted attention, or plunge into danger. Unless you mark exhaustion, and you can avoid that.
Oh, you get to choose? Yeah,
I get to
exhaustion.
choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a boiling stew pot right in the center of the clearing. Plop! This stew
God,
is
that gets
extra
hydrated.
delicious.
So you are hidden in the trees. The rest of you are there. A bandit approaches each of you and is how people forcibly take coats? Maybe at an event when you arrive, they're like, you should take off the coat and settle down. They're kind of doing that with any backpacks or anything that you might have on your person. What do you do?
It's a prop sword and my harp. No.
You do have some provisions. The four, there's the
Yeah, what's
wrong sheet. Whatever the depletion one is.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that represents food
General stuff.
and mundane stuff. So you do have that somewhere on you.
Okay.
So whatever that pack represents on you, they would also be all like, let me just take that and put it over in the pile over here.
Oh, no, that's fine. You're too sweet.
She does not want to let go of her backpack.
They insist now with swords to
Oh.
your necks.
They're gonna fight us over food? These bandits suck.
No, they can take the food. I just don't want them to have my scrolls.
Oh, it's true.
No, they want those too. Some
I
people
don't
like
like it.
paper.
Well,
Yeah, I like paper.
Exactly. They could sell it back to you for a modest fee. At the point where you stop, they basically 4 of them look at the lead cast just and they pull swords out and are like, "Give us the bags," and then you can just go sit right over there by the campfire.
I would like to pull out my bow and unleash a quick shot at the closest bandit.
because why not?
All right.
I was gonna hold off, but yeah, as soon as combat happens, I'm throwing a star.
They're bandits. They're trying to rob you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So throw a boom boom.
All right. Let's do
careful.
the quick
Automatic
shot
range.
first here.
That's another reason I'm in the trees.
We're all about to be in the trees in pieces.
Yeah. For its
You could be. You could be. All right. So for the quick shot, you can. Yes, you'd be close range. So go ahead and roll with luck.
I rolled a 7.
7. All right. On a 7, you choose 1, which I'll just read So you will inflict injury. On a 7 to 9, you have to choose one. You don't mark wear on your weapon. You don't mark exhaustion. You move quickly and change your position. And if you choose, range. Or you keep your target at bay, they don't move. So you would have to choose one. If you got a 10 plus, you'd be able to choose 2 of those.
I would like to move without them reacting.
All right. So the move quickly.
Yes, into a further away range.
Yes. All right. So go ahead and mark a wear, mark an exhaustion, and you back away. The arrow you fire it quite quickly. Let me see. I don't recall.
Are you using your wings as hands? Are you doing it with your feet and your beak?
The rulebook specifically says don't worry about stuff like that. It just
Like, how is that working?
is actually what it's like. Don't think too hard. The wings are hands. They
Or
work.
something.
Everything's fine. They can fly because they're a bird. That makes sense. That's just
Okay.
Herons
It had like a
have very
full page on
long
it.
legs.
Mm-hmm.
Pull the bowstring with my legs.
Yep. Oh, you fly up in the air and then draw it with your legs and then pop them in the face. Love it.
Nice. Oh no, Tech's got an enemy behind them.
Oh no. It's
right,
a
I'm
Mark
just
with an
gonna mark-
agent coming to assassinate Tack.
So your arrow cuts a deep gouge into their leather armor as you fire and fly up into the air. They move to follow, except you flew into the air, so they start looking for a tree to climb up for that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. The leaders are like, shoot them down, and you can see a couple of them have dropped back. The ones that aren't threatening the rest of you have dropped back to pull out some rather ramshackled looking bows in order to return fire.
How dare.
Better not be my tree.
No, it better be your tree.
It may be.
You're a frog ninja,
Fritz,
man.
Fritz, you're about to do something also.
Yeah, Fritz wants to go up to one of the bandits and like hold their hand like, guess what? It's the happiest day of your life because we're now engaged, and hands them a ring from one of their grenades.
Good. I'm glad.
Okay.
So
Super dark.
luckily there's one right there because they were threatening you with a sword. So they were confused by your words, and you do this. So let's see what kind of weapon attack that is. So your grenade has the attack far, but it's versatile, so it can be used in close range, I believe. I'm just going to say yes on that guy. Let's see.
I mean, you can use a grenade at short range.
Yes,
I mean,
you can.
It's just
I don't know
a
if you
bad idea.
should is a whole other question.
It is an exciting question of whether one should. Let me see. How about you just roll to engage in melee, except I think this probably triggers one of your moves to roll with luck? Let me look. Xena, stop. She's here. She's ready. Oh yeah, you can use better lucky than good, I think. So you can use an exhaustion to roll with luck instead of might for this.
I mean,
is what I would put this one as.
you're also wrecking something with flagrantly dangerous means.
I mean, I
That's
think
luck
you
too.
might also be doing that in
Yeah.
a minute.
It's fine. We'll
But
just
wrecking something
make a
it
clearing.
targets non-living things.
Yes.
And this is, I believe, targeting a living person.
Yes.
So rolling with luck instead of might is a
if you-
12.
Ooh.
What'd you get?
A 12 using better lucky than good to
Cool.
use
So
luck.
you engage in melee with a grenade, which is extra exciting. So on a hit, you will trade harm, which means they would deal their harm to you and vice versa. I believe these guys would deal 2 harm in general just because there's so many. But here are some options. On a 10 plus, you get to pick 3. Inflict serious harm, which is +1 harm. Suffer little -1 harm. Shift your range 1 step. Impress, dismay, or frighten your foe.
Yeah.
So
Or all
of
of
those 3,
those.
which do you want?
Spell them up.
I mean, there's 4 things, so
like to inflict serious harm, suffer
Yep.
little harm, and or frighten the foe.
yes. Yes, that sounds
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
So I will mark down. So what I envision happening is you do this, and they're like, what? And they look at that, and they hear the hiss as you just sort of like chuck the grenade just over their shoulder, and then like they go and strike you, which is the 1 harm that you'll be taking. When you take harm, if you have armor, you can mark 1 wear to absorb 1 injury, or you can just put it on your injury track. And then you use their body as cover as the grenade goes off right behind them.
Yeah.
Impressively.
Gross.
It hits quite a few people in the group. I think that one for sure is down, and a few other are smoldering somewhat as the grenade goes off. And let me look for the... Right, and I believe their morale goes down because that was not fun.
Yeah. It's gross.
All right. So the grenade goes off. That one crumples to the ground. Several of them are smoldering. At least one has stopped dropping and rolling. I assume a little cattail is ending in a flame as they do. Let's see. What else is going on?
I would like
Yes.
to swat at the one who's trying to grab my stuff.
Yes.
I will flamboyantly pull out my little, obviously it's wood, but it's painted to look like metal, and of course the paint is flaking, and it has fake gems, some of which are Excalibur to my side. And then I will leap and set upon him. I will spend 1 exhaustion to use finesse instead of might, because I am not mighty, but I'm very finessey. And this is unassuming, so he would never have thought it was a weapon. But that is 11, right?
All
Plus 2?
right.
Yeah.
So pick 3 out of the 4 options for engaging in melee.
Same. Less harm, do more harm, take less harm, and kind of surprise and frighten him because I'm apparently very, very good with this little wooden sword.
All right. So they managed to since they were threatening you with the sword, as you made the motion to grab your prop sword, they slashed at you, which is where the injury comes into play. But then you riposte mightily. Yes. I presume a quick dodge, flourish.
Yes.
There's so much flourishing.
and because I'm spinning and being very, I'm acting for the back row of the seats, right? So I'm over projecting, and because of all the swirling, their sword gets caught in my garish outfit and does me no harm.
Swirl, swirl.
Yes,
But now there's a rip. Horrible.
that's fine. I mean, I'll just patch it with some other clashing color. It'll be fine.
As this is going on, the one climbing up the tree is getting closer. In fact, is getting rather close to Tack. Because
Oh,
it
great.
was Tack's tree.
Of course.
Tack, what do you do?
Well, I was gonna throw a star, but since they're coming up the tree, I will engage in melee, but I'm gonna mark aware to do finesse instead of harm.
Alright.
6, 7, 8. I think my finesse is 2. 9, 10. 10.
Alright. Pick 3.
Probably inflict serious harm, suffer little harm, and then impress, dismay, or frighten my foe. I'll probably scare them because they think there's people in the trees now.
Yes.
There's people in the trees. It amusingly wasn't their sword that caught you for the injury, but one of the stray arrows that were heading towards Hector just happened to graze through your tree zone. I think he did not realize that you were pretty much right in the same sight lines. But you deftly deal with the one climbing up the tree who dramatically falls to their death with a Wilhelm scream.
Yes. Aha! You have found our frog army. Surround them. Take these miscreants into custody.
And at this point, the remaining bandits are running away for their lives. Quite a few had been dispatched. Yes, just in time for V to be like, "I'm ready." Oh, looks like we're done.
Dang it! I was gonna pretend to throw another grenade.
You still can.
Extra grenade.
I'm kind of like
Yeah,
rock
throw
in
it
my
after them.
hand, and I just chuck it. Oh no!
Drag out.
Get down! Get down!
Exactly. So, with that, the remaining cats attempt to escape. Some of them are running. What do you do? Do you just let them go, or do you
Oh,
wanna...
no. We are supposed to dispatch them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Acrobatics.
the mayor said deal with.
Yes.
So, I mean, interpret that as you will.
It means murder. I'm pretty sure.
With your big wooden sword.
She's a sly little vixen, but she meant murder. I also have my harp. So yes, I will pull out my harp and I will shoot an arrow at one of them.
Okay.
That's another roll with finesse. Doesn't take exhaustion this time. That, however, is a 10. 8, 9, 10, yeah.
All right, yeah.
So...
I mean, at this point, where you can do that move, but the mob stuff that I'm tracking is not there. So basically, as one of them runs away, you shoot him in the back, and they dramatically fall to the ground.
with a loud F-sharp twang.
And everyone's like, "Do you tune to that note, or?"
I keep it assiduously tuned.
Excellent.
They hear an F
excellent.
sharp and they fall an F flat.
Yeah, exactly. What?
Very good, very good. There are still probably a few stragglers running.
Come on, Hector, you're the turret.
I shoot as well.
All right, yeah, go ahead and give me the roll for that.
I'm just sitting there writing down everything that's happening.
Here,
Like,
I'll
as soon
pose
as
for a
And we
sketch.
shot them in the back.
I'm not
The right and
drawing.
just thing to do.
Well, just to describe my bravery.
Right, of
10.
course. Marsh looked.
All right, perfect.
foolish.
Yeah. So you easily, the rest of you easily shoot down any that are leaving. I assume Fritz kind of like picks up another grenade, and everyone's just like,
Yeah, save it.
No.
"No."
It's all good.
All right.
Cool.
So you're
let's loot the
surrounded by a
joint.
bunch of dead, singed cats.
Time to loot their bodies.
Yeah, looting time.
Looting time. Technically, you can loot things, but really, it's up to the GM to have actually statted something out.
Yeah, we don't want any of their actual gear. We just want, like, I don't know. Would it be gross to like snip off their tails and wear them on our belts?
Yes, actually, that would
not-
be very bad.
Okay.
I wouldn't have expected that from Fritz.
Well, it just like it's about making an impression. It's about showmanship.
I mean, it is. There is actually a tag for that, I think, and it's one of the negative ones.
Oh, never mind then.
Oh.
There's a negative equipment tag if you start wearing dead animal body parts. Actually,
Oh, that makes sense. Yes.
yeah, because it's like people parts.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
If
Yeah.
you're walking around with a necklace full of ears, people would probably not like you very much.
Yeah,
Got
like
it.
everybody would be like, "Oh
You're-
no."
Be not very unassuming.
That's true. That's true. Hey, also
Yes.
we should spend some time to repair our gear. And I will sing a lovely song for everyone. A song of our victory.
Yeah, I mean, you have plenty of time to make camp tonight out in the woods. You're not too far from town, but there is an already set up and at this point probably lit campfire because it probably was caught in an explosion of fire. So they set it up and you set it on fire. It's perfect match.
Yes.
Fritz like
And-
match.
Let's see. As you look around, you probably tidy up the scene of the battle, maybe lay them off somewhere. The forest will take care of the bodies at some point. There probably is a bear somewhere. But as their gear isn't particularly well kept, except the leader actually has an interesting sword. I think both Fritz and V might recognize the symbol on it. Let me see. Yeah, let's get a read a tense situation here. I know the situation is tense, but I don't think there's a particular good role. So V, can you do that?
Yes.
You like knowledge and things.
Yeah. I got plus cunning is a 7.
All right. Me asks you to roll something. Me also doesn't have the table up where it says the rest of the rules. I should just leave the book open. Here we are. I'm just going to have you do what should I be on the lookout for.
Yeah.
And specifically on this weapon, you see a symbol of like a rank of maybe like captain for the Marquisate.
Yeah.
And looking at the armor and what's going on here, you're reasonable to assume this must have been like a platoon or something, a group that was left behind or decided to stay after the Marquisate's retreat.
Yeah.
The sword itself is a fairly good make, actually. If I was to stat it out, it'd probably be about 4 value as far as how much it'd be worth. So if you have enough load, someone can carry that to either use or sell. I think it's a solid 3 wear, and it probably has a tag on it for something. Probably Vicious Strike or something like that.
Well, I have a spare load, so I can carry 1 item.
All right.
Yes.
Cool.
Excellent.
Give it to Hector.
So you've defeated them. You've cleared it up. What do you do now that you're done? I've heard something about singing songs and repairing gear.
Yes. I stitch up. I pull a patch of whatever their cloak is and sew it into my own. and then tend to my lovely sword, and then I give a rousing reenactment of mostly but our collective bravery. And because my prop sword has the pleasant, but no one has 2 exhaustion, do they? So never
2
mind.
exhaustion? No.
No. So I won't have to use the pleasant condition. Means that when I'm performing for the band while we're traveling, I can mark 1 wear to clear 2 additional exhaustion. Don't need to do that. So it just clears exhaustion. Because I'm helping people.
My repair move, I mark 1 depletion for each wear that I repair. So, how much wear does everyone have?
Nothing. So I've got 0.
So, can we? So how do we How can I? So I can repair my sword because that's related to it. I just tend to it, and a wear goes away. But can an average person just tend to their own gear, or do we have to get Hector to do it?
I think you can, but let me look to see if that's listed somewhere. Many places where is mentioned. Talk amongst yourselves while I look this up at your evening campfire.
Yes.
I am harshly critiquing Marsha's reenactment because I wrote down everything that actually happened.
I was very brave.
You were a small part of what was happening. Fritz blew up half of the platoon.
Yes, that was very dramatic. But it's the little stories that the common man likes. I mean, no one can identify with being a walking firestorm, but everyone can identify with being a lowly vagabond with, who's completely unarmed and unassuming and yet still besting a vicious Marquisate agent. Probably bent on invading the Woodland again.
That is an interesting theory, but until we get further evidence, I'm not going to add that.
It's more like PR though, so it's not evidence based. It's about what makes the best story.
No, it is about recording history accurately and with no bias.
Yeah, sure.
I am not your story writer, Marsh.
There is the theory that sometimes not truth portrays the truth more so because it portrays the feeling of the events that occurred.
Yes.
I'm not writing this as some fantastical story. These are just historical events that we have been a part of that need to be recorded.
Yeah.
If you guys want to do fanciful flowery languages, then write your own book.
Yeah. Writing takes too much effort. I'll just tell people stories.
There, perfect. You can
also,
just
this is
keep writing your
probably why
songs.
you aren't famous. Just saying.
I don't want to be famous. I like to keep a low profile.
It's like, we're so alike in some ways, and in some ways we're so different.
Yeah.
To keep a low profile, hangs out with Fritz. All right.
Right. Exactly.
Well, you have to have complimentary people. And besides, if Fritz is taking all the attention away from me, then that means I can get away with stuff.
I see. Oh, yeah. So, Fritz, so you're a cat, and they were cats.
Yeah.
And the whole Marquisate thing. What's up with that?
Weren't you part of the Marquisate? Do you harbor ill feelings towards them for leaving you behind?
Or are you a sleeper agent?
Are you going to betray us all? No, wait, don't tell me. That'll spoil it.
That's true.
It makes better history if it just happens on its own.
No, dude, if that's the case, do spoil.
No! Tack, you have no
Tack
tact.
Tack has a point.
It's fine when I'm not on the wrong side of it.
That's based on perspective.
Since cats have 9 lives, it's obvious that they're going to come back at some point, and we didn't really finish them off.
I don't.
V walks over and kicks one of the bodies and is like, I don't think that's coming back.
Yeah. I think that's an urban legend. I mean, a woodland legend. So anyway, Fritz, spy, not spy, love the Marquisate, hate the Marquisate, couldn't be bothered by the Marquisate, not actually a cat. What's up?
Are you a raccoon in disguise?
Possible. You're very mysterious, Fritz.
And destructive and chaotic.
I mean,
Are you carrying garbage?
we could just stop at the complimentary stuff. Hey, Fritz, what's up?
Tried to engage one of them. It didn't last long. They didn't say yes. It was sad. And then it went boom, boom. And then stuff. The boom, boom was nice. I enjoyed
So,
boom, boom.
in the Marquisate, are your courting rituals explosive? Is that common?
The people want to know.
And do you propose immediately? You don't bother to learn about each other first? This is fascinating.
So I meant just right now. I gave one of the bandits a ring and then it went boom, boom. They didn't say yes. It was sad. I thought they'd
But
say yes.
They might have exploded first, which is why I'm curious about your courtship rituals, because this seems like a very ineffective way to create a populace. Maybe this is why the Marquisate got driven out.
They blew each other up.
Yeah.
For love.
tragic.
For love.
Yes, of course.
Fritz, please. I don't want any kind of loving relationship with you. I just want to put that out there. Make that clear now.
Just
Please
in
don't propose
case.
to anyone in this group.
Yes.
We're all simply friends, purely platonic.
A passionate people.
If that.
It will not give you any rings.
Thank you.
Or the thing that the ring is attached to.
Unless they're historical rings, but not rings that explode. Or attached to something that explodes.
Or jewels.
Well, yes, if they have historical value, of course. I would love
Emeralds
to
would really make my eyes
record
pop, so
them.
keep your eyes out.
So, rules time. Clearing harm. So there's different ways to clear harm. So I'm just going to list off the general things. So you can clear depletion by gaining new supplies or money. You
Yes.
can clear exhaustion by fulfilling your nature or by getting some good rest, like sleeping, recovering, taking a break. You can clear injury by receiving medical attention. Either someone tending to your wounds. Typically, if you have serious injury, you're going to need to find a real healer and not just one of you guys. And then you can clear wear by repairing the damaged item. So this is one we're interested in. Clearing one wear, you just need to spend a few hours repairing your item, which marks a depletion.
Got it.
So you're taking some of the stuff in your bags and you're basically, fixing up whatever you got.
But if we take the bandit stuff to fix up our
like
stuff.
if literally I'm taking some of their cloth from their bodies and sewing it
So
in.
it'd basically be like you're using a depletion from them, because they probably have about, random stuff for depletion purposes that I think you could pick off of them in addition to the sword kind of thing that you can use for your wear cleaning. For example, if you wanted to clear 2 wear at once, that's like a couple days of repairing an item. Clearing 3 wear, you probably need 3 or 4 wear, you need it like a trained expert. Fortunately, you basically travel with a trained expert who
Yes.
can probably take care of stuff like that for you.
Yes. Beautiful.
But like, if you didn't have a tinker with you, you'd probably need to find a smith in a town and be like, hey, my sword, it broke.
Cool.
So I presume if you're spending a few hours to repair your stuff, you're probably going to be camping in the woods.
Yes. It's dark.
in the-
And there's a fire here. And
yeah.
there's a
It was
lovely
they
bubbling
set up.
pot.
They were set up for camping.
Yeah. So we'll enjoy the evening.
So we're clearing exhaustion as well as.
Yes, you can clear an exhaustion because you're at a well set up camp. You guys know how to set up camps well enough, and you're
Yes.
spending the night here.
Yes.
And we're tending to each other's wounds.
Did anyone take injury?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did you? So when you took that injury, did you just want to mark it off your gauntlets instead?
Tending to the injury now. No. Meta. I mean, I usually see using my gauntlets as something like I foresaw somebody aiming at me and doing it. And since that was kind of a stray shot.
Well, my job is to protect you, Tack, and I feel terrible that you were wounded. I mean, there's nothing I could possibly have done about it. But I still feel guilty, so I will attempt to assist you as long as it doesn't involve luck or might.
Yes. That should be fine. I moved away from the page, so now I have to find it again.
My guess is cunning?
I think it just happens. If you say you're going to do it and you have the time and resources to do it, it's just going to...
Yes. Weasel spit is a known curative. And then we spritz you with water.
It's another, you mark a depletion and someone spends a couple hours, like, binding the wound or whatever.
Okay, cool.
Anything that's more than, like, if you want to clear 2 injury or more, you probably need to go into town and find a healer to help you out.
You're now in mint condition. I said you're now in mink condition.
Yes.
Very good.
That's what happens.
Also like to clear an injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll help Fritz.
Perfect. So you spend the evening tending wounds, telling stories, arguing about what exactly how cats do marriage proposals. Are you sure it's with a grenade?
Also,
standard conversation.
I believe nothing.
And I'd say nothing too terribly exciting happens neither that night nor the next morning when you probably, I assume, return to Flatholm to report your success to the mayor.
Yes, bringing the sword as a trophy. Also, I will pull V aside. V.
Yes.
Did you notice how Fritz completely evaded your question about their history with the Marquisate?
I know. It's very interesting.
I
want to
know
know more.
It's either very mysterious or they're just a little, one too many boom booms too close to the noggin. Couldn't tell which.
They were very close with that grenade. That was very concerning.
Yes.
Yes, I will attempt to find out more.
Yes.
We have a bit of a relationship. I'm sure I can lean on that.
Good, yes. Well, let me know. I mean,
of course.
And just so I can be prepared and not to spread rumors or anything like that.
No, of course. You would never. You're just so sweet all the time, Marsh.
Imagine if we were traveling with, like maybe a Marquisate officer who lost their rank due to some sort of intrigue with a local. Maybe they turned against their own leadership and fought valiantly on behalf of the denizens of the Woodland.
Yes.
So like a redemption
There's so
arc.
many options.
Yes.
Perhaps. We will find out. I will find out.
Yes.
One way or another.
I really just hope Fritz is just like thinking like head empty, no thoughts here, only explosions.
Yes.
Take a peer into Fritz's mind in that moment. It's just a giant mushroom cloud.
Right.
That's all that's there.
That's all that's ever there.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're only purring because it kind of makes like the rumbling sound in their head, like an explosion just went off.
Exactly.
Well done, fellows. Yet again, we are heroes to the common man.
But we didn't learn anything, except maybe about Marquisate courting rituals. But I'm not sure on that one.
Well, we'll improv.
No, that's wrong.
Look, if you say it enough, everyone believes it, and then it's history.
You can improvise. I am not creating false histories.
Sure.
Yes, quite. So you approach Flatholm. The dense trees of the surrounding woods thin out as grassy plains dominate the landscape leading to the lake. There are fields of wheat that shimmer as the wind blows through them, glistening in the morning sun. Small, low farmhouses dot the landscape as the road winds down easy slopes to the lake. A cluster of sturdy wooden buildings mark the center of commerce in the clearing. directly before the long sandy beach. I believe one of the few clearings that actually has a sandy beach. At the shoreline are simple wood docks and boats, along with larger stilted houses that stand over the water. So this is Flatholm, which you are all familiar with, especially during the last time when you accidentally said about the revolution.
Are we entering a clearing?
Let's say with yes, because I think you've been in and around here, but this is the first time in the game that we have entered the clearing. So go ahead and do your entering the clearing roll.
All right. That is a terrible, terrible roll. Let me check our status. Yep. Oh, geez. I'm going to use a minor boon to get it to a 7.
That's fair. That's fair.
So I'll type it.
I believe in you.
Okay. Oh, that's unfortunate. But so on a... Okay, so an adoring fan recognizes me and they relate gossip, offer a place to stay, and show our band around. But they aren't going to go any further.
Okay. So, who meets you?
Ooh. Let's say it's Pat, the porcupine.
Ooh. What does Pat do for a living?
Pat is a shipwright. Or a boatwright. Maybe he has ambitions to become a shipwright one day. He's a little myopic, like most porcupines. So he's got rather thick glasses. Very, very sweet fellow, if a bit prickly. Ha ha!
Yes, they've never heard that one before. So Pat has seen you stride into town, and it has actually met you maybe about halfway down the field roads. And you recall him from the last time you guys were all here. When you not the time where the mayor sent you off to get the bandits, but from the time before. Yeah. He must have missed you earlier. He goes, oh, hey there, Marsh. It's good to see ya.
Oh, Patrick. How's the boat building business?
As good as ever. Even better now that we don't have to, pay the taxes on the Erie. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're always welcome here.
Excellent. What business do they have dealing with boats anyway?
That's what I said. But they're all like, oh, we need these for the trade routes and so on. Yeah. And I'm all like, well, listen, I'm trying to make an art here. It's an art to make a good boat.
It's true.
That's what I say. Oh, and now I see all your friends are here too. A good job with that explosion, he says to Fritz.
Oh, yes. Did you hear the sound of distant thunder around dusk last night?
No.
Well, there was, but it wasn't thunder. Fritz, who may or may not have an intriguing story that we're trying to delve into, just developing, workshopping some ideas, helped us dispatch a rogue band of ne'er-do-wells, exiles from the Marquisate.
Oh, wow.
Who were lurking in the forest,
real
ready
fancy.
to pounce.
I'm glad
Yes.
Wouldn't have to get him. Well, come on over. I'll get y'all some breakfast.
Lovely.
So the rest of your stroll into town is held with chit chat, and he brings you to his house, which is, as one might guess, very close to the dock. So he can build a boat. In fact, you see one boat that's, I don't know, hanging somewhere, so you can work on it. I don't know how you build boats. Yeah, dry dock, small boat. He's building it. He's look at that one. She's going to be a beauty. Maybe I'll name it after you guys.
Perfect.
Yeah, the marsh machine.
Yes.
Yeah, the marsh
The
float.
The marshfellows.
The Marsh Fellows? Oh, is that what you're
Yes.
calling yourselves?
Yes, it is. It's our official name.
I am leaving the group.
Oh, hush, Hector.
Now it's fine, this works. Now I have something to call us in the history books.
See, if you say it, it becomes history. QED.
This isn't making up facts.
And it is shortly after breakfast and so on that I think the mayor, or no, he probably goes and gets the mayor for you while you're eating. You know, he's already eaten. He gets up pretty early. Was out for his morning calisthenics. You know how it is. The mayor comes to stop by at the house there. Mayor Cinder, who's still a fox, still sharp and no nonsense. She walks in and says, "Tell me some good news about the bandits."
Fritz blew half of them up and we destroyed the rest.
Well, that is good news. That's another problem off my back. One of many caused. Well, here's the payment that I offered you all. She hands over a small bag of coins. It's only one value, but listen, it was a favor. You can probably just mark that as a free-floating thing, because I don't think anyone has any missing depletion. So, just a bag of coins existing.
Oh, I have records for the city hall to keep
Yes.
recording our exploits.
Oh, yeah, for the city hall. You might want to hold on to those for just a little longer. The city hall still has a hole in most of it. So,
Right.
yeah, there was,
I'll add
I
that.
mean, to be fair, not everything was destroyed by you guys. There was a lot of pent up frustration and all of that. But, well, I think that's all I had. I'll let you know if I think of anything else that needs help around town.
Would it be surprising to you to learn that the bandits were in fact a band of mercenaries, potentially a former army group belonging to the Marquisate?
Marquisate, huh?
Yes, their leader was in fact a former, who knows, officer in their ranks.
Well, we haven't seen any of
Produce
them
the
for-
sword. See? The mark of office.
Yes, see, this mark right here is the one that tells you his ranking, and then this one right here tells you what this means, and then B just flips off.
Nerd. Sorry.
And she's sort of like, huh, well, I mean, we haven't seen them in quite some time. They must have been out in the woods for a while, but, well, it's a good thing you dealt with them either way. They were going to
Yes.
cause problems.
They were almost certainly planning an invasion, and we've stymied them. They could have been an advanced expeditionary force.
More likely
Testing.
than not, they were just left behind and they're trying to rob people
they
to make
could-
a living in the clearings.
They could
but
very
sure,
well have
Marge,
been an
you make up your
expeditionary
stories.
force probing the weaknesses at the edges of the boundary, and then since we dispatched them so handily, no one will return to report back, and then the Marquis will realize that the time is not right to invade yet again.
You write your stories, Marge, but there was very little evidence to support this.
Yeah, she is about
Killjoy.
to respond with, I don't know, doubt.
That's the
There
appropriate
is
response.
a knock on the door, and before Pat can open the door, in strides a rather regal-looking, but rather frumpy eagle. He's definitely older. And you might have recognized him before. This was the former Lord Regent of the area for the Erie dynasties.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh, good to see you again.
So we're his favorite
Your
people,
feathers
is what
have
you're
grown
saying.
in nicely.
Right.
From all of the explosions.
All of the fire.
And he's so he just sort of walks in, and the mayor's just like, what? And he walks in and he's like, oh, I've heard that you've come back to dispatch the bandits that were outside of town, and I came to thank you personally for your service to Flatholm.
Of course, we're always in service to Flatholm.
Yes, very gracious of you, Your Grace.
Yes, thank you. And the mayor's just like, okay. So, Lord Regent, who has a name, definitely. Yeah, players, what's his name? You know it.
Decking. It's almost like Dead King,
Yep.
but not.
That's his nickname after we dethroned him and,
Right.
caused a revolution.
It's all eagles are German, so Totenkönig.
So
Lord Regent Totenkönig.
old man Dicking, as you say, your grace or whatever, he's like, oh, no need for titles. They made it very clear that's not welcome here anymore. Oh, but I'd never leave my home here. It's a good and beautiful place that you've made safer. Well, my dear, I must be off, he says, addressing the mayor. And the mayor's like, yes, of course. And he turns around and leaves. A small feather trails off behind him. And as the door closes, the mayor waits a moment and says, so he didn't leave.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't think
back to the history.
I think he just got left behind. I mean, Deckard's harmless. He's like an old man guy, so he's not going to do anything. And I don't think he's been in contact with the Eerie Dynasties at all since all of this has happened.
Wow.
But he has been helping with securing the clearing, except it's not like I'm already doing it. And some of the people are getting a little, I don't know, worked up that he's still here. I mean, he was the Lord Regent for who knows how many years.
We can have words if you like.
Yeah, that'd be good. If you could just talk with him and see, and maybe talk with, I don't know, Pat here or whoever else in town. Just, it's fine that he's here, but he's getting a little too visible, you know?
Can I roll Lore Master to try to understand the political conflict in Flatholm?
Yes, you may.
Yay! Ooh, 12.
Ooh.
All right. What happens when you roll a 12?
So, on a hit, the GM tells you what information you remember that completes your understanding of the messy situation. On a 10 plus, you can ask a follow-up question. The GM will answer honestly.
Okay, so the situation, you're more or less aware of a lot of it because you helped cause it. The Eerie Dynasty was in control of the area. The denizens rose up and took it back after an inciting incident involving you. You do know that the Lord Regent at the time, which was Decking here, he has indeed lived, like, as far as you know, he had been the Lord Regent for decades, a long time here.
Very old.
Yeah, he's quite old. And the mayor's assessment of him being generally harmless is correct. However, you can also tell just by walking through the town that tensions are still pretty high. Everyone's kind of riding the high of the victory that they had just won against the Eerie Dynasty. And so seeing someone here of the power, especially just, barging into people's houses because he's used to doing that all the time anyway. He's always been harmless. I don't think anyone really, cared before. You couldn't yell at him before because he could actually send an army to bother you. But now he keeps doing it and he doesn't have the army.
Is there... is there more?
Maybe a bit. Let me see.
Okay.
Yeah, you get the vibe that the denizens here don't really like him being in town.
Okay. Is there some sort of, like, honorary position, like a title that holds no power that we could maybe give to him so that he feels good and can stay, but then the denizens know that he's really powerless and can't do anything to them anymore?
You don't think there's been traditionally a title like that here in the town, but you could probably make one up and let people know about it.
Yes.
Perfect. Let's do that.
Remember what I was saying
so-
about redemption arcs?
Yes. See, now this is how we influence history. Rather than just making it up and writing it down, we actually make it happen.
Well, you make it up and then you perform it and then people believe it and it becomes true. We're saying the same thing. Anyway, maybe we put upon a play where a tyrannical, who happens to be a bird, a tyrannical ruler sees the errors of his ways and seeks a way to serve, not as a ruler, but as a contributor to the society, as a way of making good on all the wrongs that he wreaked upon the people. And then at first the people are reluctant and they're filled with vengeance, and then they realize that this poor fellow was kind of dopey, and they realize that it's kind of cute to have him around. And then they all live happily ever after, or something.
Precisely.
Yes. Or we just have the mayor make a title and then announce it in the town so everybody knows.
I mean,
If you want to put on a play march, that's fine, but where are you going to find that many people to do that this fast? Or are you just going to do a one-man show again?
no, I think a few bit players in the background, a few cameo spots could be made. I'll obviously be carrying most of the dramatic weight of the performance.
There is like a whole performing troupe worth of you here.
It's true. It's true.
I do pyrotechnics.
Ugh.
I could write the script.
Yes. We'll talk about. I tell you what, we'll get you some sticks with streamers on it, and you can dance pyrotechnics, like interpretive, right?
Fritz would probably set those on fire, though.
Ugh. We can set them on fire after. There's an island out in the lake that we can, I don't know,
Yes.
bombard or something.
Burn to the ground.
Burn it to the ground. All right. Well, you spend then the day perfecting your performance. I don't know. You can do it the same day. You could do it the next day. Your read on the situation is it's not an immediate, like, time is not of the essence here. Like, maybe don't leave and come back.
Tack, Hector, I assume you're on board with helping this poor, wayward gentleman integrate successfully into society, to be useful.
We know someone with a boat, and we know of an island where there's nobody else. Could we not simply take the man and dump him out of...
I mean, he's an eagle, though. He can fly.
Yeah, he would probably just come back after a vacation.
Yeah.
This way, it's a permanent title. And then, we say we're putting him to use, really we're not. We're making him useless so that people don't care that he's here.
How far away is this island? Maybe he can't fly that far. He is quite old. He's bald and everything.
I feel like he wouldn't care, and I'd rather he didn't plummet into the lake and drown because we'd stuck him on an island.
Tack, back me up here.
I'm never one to the best intentions in people. So that said, having someone useful versus just dumping them would be the preferred outcome.
He'll be useful by not being useful. And maybe it will start to improve relations between the denizens and the Eyrie, because, the Eyrie are still right next door.
What is the worst case scenario here?
The
We cause
villagers,
another political conflict.
well, the worst case scenario is sitting over there in the corner thinking about boom booms. But other than that, the worst case scenario is the villagers run him out of town.
And then the Eyrie
Sounds like
Dynasty gets
justice to me.
upset.
And then, yes, and it's a squandered opportunity is the worst realistic scenario.
Yes, I can tell you from history that more likely than not it would be a major slight against the Eyrie, and they would probably respond in kind. I'm sure that they're already planning on it, but we can at least stave it off a little bit longer.
Yes.
By
The
making
worst thing,
friends
it'll
with
only
them.
cause more unrest. So, in reality, long-term thinking, big picture, it would actually help the cause. But I understand. You want to limit
If the
civilian
Eyrie ever come
casualties
back,
and all that.
Yeah. Yes, Hector?
if the Eyrie ever come back, they will probably want to reinstall the old leader, which could be quite awkward.
Perhaps we can make it so that he doesn't want that position again and foster his love for the denizens over the Eyrie.
Yes.
Regarding your lore role, I think you would know this, that he has family, other Eyrie Dynasty family members who probably would be more upset if he was dead from non-natural causes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather not murder him.
If he is set up as a magistrate or some other ceremonial title that has optical oversight but no actual temporal power, that could stave off any desire by the Eyrie to come in and seize actual power. Because we could say, oh, no, the people have duly recognized his wisdom and appointed him to a role where he mostly just sits around at a cafe and tells people things and pontificates, and everyone kind of smiles and laughs, and it's wonderful, and he feels great, and everyone feels great, and then we don't have to worry about the Eyrie coming and trying to take the place over again.
But quite frankly, that's probably what he was doing before anyways.
Yeah.
So this is a win-win situation.
Yeah, it's just making everyone comfortable with the current status quo.
So what we need is a credible historian who can tell people that there was such a title.
Yes. Wait, you want me to lie? This title didn't exist. But it may have existed
But there's
within the Eyrie
always been that
Dynasty. It's
title.
fine. It may have existed within the Eyrie Dynasty, and I could justify it by saying that we're bringing the title in by belonging to them, or someone in the history probably had some sort of title like that.
Well, he could be like a reeve or a major domo.
Yes. Or perhaps we say that we're making history, and it's an even more glorious celebration because we're creating something new.
For the modern order.
Yes. 'Cause
Mm,
we're all about charging into the future by learning from our past.
yes. We're an intellectual group, aren't we? Mostly.
Yes. For the most part.
All right. Well, I think you set up and do your performance, and I don't think there's a particularly good move for that, except I think we'll borrow All Eyes on Me
Yeah.
as something to do. So go ahead and give me a roll for that.
All right. Gonna roll that charm, which is +2. That is going to be 5, 4, 9, 11.
Great. So we'll say. So what was the goal of your perform? This was like just to spread the news to everybody in the clearing, like the story that you had mentioned.
And if we're going to leverage All Eyes on Me, maybe
Yes.
it can be the members of the band are out in the crowd, right, as part of the audience. And then as I tell the story, thinly veiled illusion, to a once great ruler deposed who finds himself living as a common man among his former subjects, and the tendency of those subjects to demean and belittle him, and then kind of tearing him down. It's like, he's just an old man though, and he just wants to feel useful. And then the denizens find compassion within themselves, and realize that by giving this man purpose, not only do they prove themselves to be more compassionate, but that they do enable him to truly serve, to make amends for his time as their ruler. And at the appropriate times, the party members in the crowd are like, oh, no, that's a good point. And this is a really interesting story. And this is really making me feel, fake tears, that kind of stuff.
That's not really historically accurate. I mean, this is just so
Shit.
All right, so how about the rest of you roll either to sneak, hide, or trust fate?
Yeah.
As you're going through the crowd then, because and you get a +1 to this because he's telling a good story.
Yes. And whoever rolls poorest, if it makes a difference, I will give a +3 instead.
cool.
8 to trust fate.
All right.
With the +1?
7 to trust fate.
Okay.
You muted, Astrid?
I got a 10 to hide.
They just hear this little froggy voice coming from nowhere.
And Fritz?
Fritz?
Sneak, hide, or trust fate?
Trust fate. So I'm wearing the danger mask always because I'm self-conscious. So that's a +1 to trust fate.
Yep.
You said plus also trust 1 to...
Yep.
Right. And then my luck is 2, so that's a 12.
Ooh.
Perfect.
Okay, so whoever had the 7 will bump that up to... did someone have an 8?
Yeah, Hector had an 8, I had a 7.
So Hector gets a 10 instead. So a net 2, because I give you a +3 instead of a +1.
Okay.
So we have a bunch of successes and a couple of really awesome successes.
Yeah. The only reason why yours wasn't as good is because you kept going, well, actually, every time
Exactly.
you said something wrong. You couldn't contain it.
It's like, no heckling. Please escort that person from the audience.
I will not be silenced. The truth of our history must be explored.
So the performance went well. It seems like most of the denizens are like, I get it, okay, and they all look at him, and he's just sort of like, once you're done with the performance, he goes up to you, Marshall's like, whoa, that was an excellent performance.
I know. It's my gift for coming up with completely unrealistic fiction at the drop of a hat. I don't know where my inspiration comes from.
It's incredibly realistic. I really like that older gentleman character.
I know. So sympathetic, don't you think?
I mean, a bit, but he's
Hashtag relatable.
exactly. I want one of you to... I believe you probably talked with the mayor beforehand, got, the title that was going to be bestowed. I need one of you to, trick an NPC, as in this guy, to make sure that he's going to be all I'm going to take that title, and I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah, I can do it, because I'm the historical person who has credibility, probably.
Yes, the credibility. Use cunning.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I stand ready to assist you if needed.
All right. That is a 10.
Again, not needed.
Right.
You're so cunning.
Perfect. They do what you want. You mentioned the title. Like, what do you say to him?
Yeah, so like I think that I like either got the mayor to sign a document or I just like forged like a really fancy looking document that has the title on it. And I'm just like, oh, you know, since you were so moved by our performance and you're obviously still so needed within this city, I've spoken with the mayor and we've gotten you this lovely new title, and this will explain all of the duties alongside it and just, you know, will restore your place among the people.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, this looks so official. I love it.
know.
Right, even it comes with a little badge on it. You just put this on here. Oh, it looks so good. Look at how nice this blue looks.
Like a leaf with a stick pushed through it, and then
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
scribbled on it is some sort of title.
I'm sorry. Look, and this green looks lovely with my outfit, don't you think?
Yes, it's beautiful. You look wonderful.
Well, I must then go off perform my duties of looking at construction sites. Yes, I can do that. That's definitely one of the things I should do now. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And he wanders off to do such things. Well, your work here is done, and you got a free place to stay, at least for a while,
Yeah.
before people wonder why a bunch of you guys are here freeloading off the food. So, did you do anything in town, you know, in this kind of downtime?
I mean, we're already legends. What more is there to do?
Exactly. Reap the rewards of free lunch, dinner,
Yeah,
breakfast.
just wander around town aimlessly and dock my head at people.
That was a solid campaign, guys.
Yeah, you
we won.
got it. That was
We did
it. You
it.
solved all the problems.
One shot, done.
One shot done. Yes. Except. Time passes. It's maybe been like a week or so. You're getting the vibe that it's about time to move on soon. You've
Yes.
probably had a few discussions amongst yourselves like, well, where do we go now? Well, no, not there. No reason, says Fritz, pointing at the place where the potato field was exploded.
Yes.
I just think we all shouldn't go look at the Eerie Dynasty or whatever. But,
Why are we sticking together?
Because we have to take care of you,
like-
Tack. Out in the woods by yourself, you dry up.
I don't think that's how. I don't understand why everybody is so worried about Tack. They're
Appreciate
perfectly
the
capable of taking
sentiment.
care of themselves.
No, Tack is small and squishy.
Did you not see them completely eviscerate
No.
one of the Marquis said?
No.
He fell.
with the stab wound.
Yeah.
It was
worry.
Branch must have got him on the way down.
Oh, of course. Right. Wink. Very obvious, but it looks like I'm trying to squint. Like,
Exactly.
nudge.
I'm not completely opposed to Marsh, the guy who likes to embellish crazy feats and stuff. Me being not amazing, because I like to go under the radar. So I would rather not have the guy that likes to
Expound
call out
on
amazing. Yeah, exactly. Think I'm like this awesome badass, because then everyone's gonna know who I am and what I can do, and I'd rather that not be the case. So
Yes, Marsh does not realize that you're a ninja.
Despite the.
yeah, I was just staying really safe in the trees, far away.
Hiding as you should, because you're small.
Right.
Oh, you should all add one prestige to the denizens track,
Yes, of
because you just
course.
helped them out.
More prestige.
My danger mask that I never take off unless it's taken from me or destroyed. It says that any prestige you gain is halved.
Yeah. Yep. I'm going to round down on that one, Fritz.
Oh, because you're a
Okay.
masked vigilante.
Mm-hmm.
So, like-
Kinda.
I don't
So, like-
know if I'd say vigilante.
I mean,
Sort of, but
Kinda.
you know.
You know. Yeah, so you don't get that, Fritz. Sorry.
It's cool.
It's because of all the explosions that happen near you. People remembered that. a little more than the other people that were involved that day.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Let's see. So it was on such a morning where you again were discussing like, well, where should we go? Maybe here, maybe there.
And do we have to bring Fritz?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, Fritz is important. Fritz is a very important view on history.
A younger squirrel. Let's say you're sitting outside somewhere because this makes it much easier. A younger squirrel denizen who looks like a little dusty, has a lot of pepper in her step. Definitely looks like she's just come into town from somewhere, probably from the path. And she is looking around. It looks like she was at the inn, and the fox who runs the inn has pointed in your direction. You can see from across the square. And she walks over and says, is one of you Vidara?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Vidara. Or V. Just call me V.
V. Perfect. Well, I got a letter for you. Here. I came all the way from Rooston. I was out traveling. And they sent out 5 messengers. I'm lucky you were this way.
Yeah, very lucky.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Letter.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Does somebody have money?
Yeah, we have a bag of money from the mayor.
Yeah, you do have the bag of money from the mayor.
Yeah,
This is convenient.
There you go.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
I know you don't have to give them the entire bag of money.
You do. She
No, you
runs
don't.
off.
That was a tip for.
You know, look, there's a
delivery,
there's a trick
presumably.
to tipping squirrels. They're just gonna go and bury it, and then they're gonna forget where they buried it, and when they can't find it later, then they'll just assume that you tipped them and they
Then
lost
it's buried
it.
treasure later to mark down in the history books.
Oh Jesus!
Somebody will find it one day. We might be dead by then, but my legacy will live on.
You see the squirrel almost instinctively digging at a nearby tree before going like, no, and walking off.
Look, you don't know. Maybe their banks are underground. Open the letter and read it.
Yes, you read the letter. I'll paraphrase it for you because I didn't write down this part. Dearest V, great news in Rooston. You're going to want to see this. It's a wedding. Arrive before the next full moon. Otherwise, you'll miss this literary opportunity. Signed. Who signed the letter? You know them. They're a contact, you know, from a certain faction based in Rooston.
We'll call them Jonas.
Okay.
See what you did?
Yeah.
Perfect. Just taking some notes. The note itself, it doesn't contain much beyond this. You do the math in your head. The next full moon's in like a couple weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks or so.
But
Yes, good.
What do you do?
So, it appears that there's going to be a very important event happening in Rooston. And we should
Rooston?
go. Yeah. A marriage, a wedding.
Oh,
We
between
have
who?
an interest in courtship rituals. Does
What
the letter
makes
tell
it
me who?
You might have an interest in courtship rituals. Who's getting married? Because otherwise, a marriage doesn't sound super important.
Does the letter say who's getting married?
It does not say who's getting married.
Can I infer who's getting married?
You would infer that if this contact's reaching out to you about it, it's probably someone of note.
Yeah, and I presume that I know that Rooston is Grand Duchy territory.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know names, but if this person's reaching out to me. It's somebody very important from the Grand Duchy.
Oh, so a wedding we could maybe turn red?
Oh,
Or observe.
well, I mean, por qué no los dos? I mean, you said you wanted to be witness to events of history.
Yes. But I gotta keep my paws clean.
Right. It would be a shame if it would be a shame if bandits were to attack the wedding and then be, after wreaking horrible damage, were to be driven away to melt back into the woods, but one of them were to leave behind their sword.
Oh, yes. Very good.
I appreciate you not knowing what this wedding's about, but immediately planning murder. This is pretty great.
I would like to figure out who is getting married first, because Rooston is my hometown.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, I'm sure we'll find out when we get there. This is bound to be a very big deal. Especially if the Duchy are holding this on land. That's very bizarre for them to be above ground.
I would like to borrow money from Pat before we leave.
Oh, interesting. Go ahead. Do you have a particular move that you were going to use for that?
Trust fate, I suppose.
Okay.
Well, I suppose it would be persuaded NPC.
Yes, it would. It would probably be persuade an NPC. So go ahead and try to borrow some money.
Six, a fail.
All right. Do you want to use a boon of some kind?
We have them. We have a minor boon if you'd like to make that a 7.
That would be useful, yeah. I would like to use a minor boon, please.
All right. So you go ahead and use that, and you persuade him. So let's have the conversation that you're having. I presume this is shortly after getting the letter. You all go, okay, it's time. Let's start packing up. And you go to talk to him. And he's like, Hector, what can I do you for?
Hey, Pat. I'm just dropping by because I've got to be headed out of town. I've got to go back to Patchwood. And, well, my old friend Alicia, the potato farmer, has asked me to come back and visit her. And unfortunately, I can't afford any traveling supplies.
Oh, well, I thought you were pretty well stocked up, but, can't afford any. Any of the mayor didn't help you out when you took care of those bandits at all, or?
Well, we put on a play after we took care of the bandits, and, well, there were some streamers, and we set fire to them, and then, you know, it all got a bit expensive. You know how it is.
Yes, yeah. It was a pretty good performance. I liked the part where everything did catch on fire, I must say. Really sparked the imagination, okay. But I mean, you were here the like this whole week, and I mean, it's nice and all that y'all came to visit, but you know, it was like 3 meals every day. So out of character, you need to, let's see, you need to sway them. You need to do something with promises or threat. He's like, I'll tell you what. If you can get this old heirloom hammer. Yes, I have these as a shipbuilder. Listen, my tools are a little broken. I don't have the materials here. So for some reason, giving you more stuff will make sure my stuff will return. That doesn't make sense. I'm going to need you to repair this hammer for me before you go. And then I can lend you some extra supplies on your way to Patchwood. I know you'll be back because this is the only way through the clearings to get back here. And you can just pay me back once you're back. Does that sound good?
Well, this hammer looks pretty beat up. Why don't you leave it with me and give me the money, and once I'm back from Patchwood, I'll hand you back your hammer. All repaired. It will be lovely. It will be beautiful.
Okay. Go ahead and give me another persuade roll.
That would be a 10.
Ooh.
All right. Well, he's all like, all right. I'll trust you with my heirloom hammer passed down through 3 generations. The most precious, sentimental object to me, but a little worn because I do use it a lot. Here you go. And here's some money for some supplies, some food, some this. He gives you about, what were you looking for? Like 2 value worth of stuff?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. So he'll hand you some, like pre-made lunch packs and a little coin and a couple items that are reasonable trade goods to barter with that all together equal about 2 values. It's all right. And then when you get more money, you just come back with the hammer, my most precious sentimental hammer. And then you can just bring those all back to me once you're back from Patchwood. Sounds great. I hope you have a good time out there.
Absolutely. You're a good man, Pat. I'll see you soon.
Yep. See you around.
I am now burdened unless somebody else wants to take one of my...
I will take the hammer. It's historical. It's passed down through several generations. I would love to record this. Don't worry, you can trust me with it. I take very good care of historical artifacts.
You read a dissertation on a hammer.
Yes.
This is
exactly.
Yeah, this is why you have no fans. I'm just saying.
I don't want fans. That's your job. Jeez. You and Fritz and everybody else are the people that take all of the attention away from me.
Except for Tack. We must protect Tack.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Sure, okay. I just looked like she had some dirt in her eye or something.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm fine. Just, yeah.
Like a stress response or something? Like a nervous tick?
No.
Look, V has been out of water for days now. You should know what that feels like. Why don't you both go for a swim?
I probably should actually take a swim.
I definitely would have gone swimming, during the week,
yeah.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're all chilling beachfront property for like a week with nothing better to do because no one, like, people talk to vagabonds, but vagabonds are weird people who go into the woods and stuff, so sometimes it's better not to associate with them.
Well, I think V was also probably helping out at, like, helping restore City Hall a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine.
So.
Oh, that would have been a really nice thing to think of. Oops.
Say the rest of them enjoying their beach time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, V's doing it for selfish purposes, but it inevitably
keeping my eye on Fritz.
Fritz is probably learning how to make glass with sand. You know, you just take a grenade and you throw it in the sand, glass.
Oh, it's true.
And we had a very nice big beach bonfire one night to celebrate the success of our show.
Yes.
It was
courtesy
very
of
big.
Fritz. It was very big. It was almost very big.
Pat's just like, oh, you used that wood? That was for the boat I was making. It's fine. It's fine.
Oops. It's already on fire.
Maybe that's why I didn't get the popular vote.
Probably. It's probably due to the burning of things. So you all are going to head to Rooston. Do you want to bring up the map again quick to
yes, I can do
show
that.
off where we're going? So you're all in Flatholm right now. And Rooston's just one clearing away down the path. So in general, there is a there are two travel moves that are dealing for traveling between different clearings. You can either travel through the forest, which means it's harder to do. I think everyone takes a little more exhaustion and things like that. But you can pass through the forest to any clearing on the other side, basically. So if you needed to shortcut your way through somewhere, you guys can just barge through the forest. However, the other way is travel along the path. And there's a path here. It'd be an easier journey, less exhaustion that you might have or have to take. And sometimes it's a way to clear exhaustion, but you might encounter people instead of animals or ruins or things of that nature. So how would you like to travel?
I would like to avoid having Pat see me going along the path.
Oh.
Oh,
Well,
no.
because you said you were going somewhere else.
The opposite
Yeah.
direction.
I think you could do that without having to. You could still take the path the whole way there, because this is like, it's days of journey to get from one clearing to another. In some cases, maybe even a week, depending on how long it takes you to walk somewhere. It's faster along the path than it is the forest, unless you're like really hustling. But I think you could give him the dodge, Hector, as I don't think he's suspecting you to not go that way. So if you just like, I leave that way and I circle around quick, that's fine.
Absolutely.
Poor trusting Pat. How dare you take advantage of that lovely, lovely porcupine man.
Yeah. He's always reaching out and patting people on the back and,
Yeah.
giving hugs, and everyone else is just not returning them.
Got this
Poor
very
guy.
nice hammer with all these fascinating engravings and
So are you going to travel along the path or go through the forest?
How long till the full moon?
It's like 2.5 weeks. I think either way you could get there within a week or less.
What about them ruins, though?
Yes, there is a
Right.
possibility of finding something in the forest that's of interest. Whether you want to stop there or not is up to you.
Like, let's just get to the next place.
Yeah, we can always hit up the ruins on the way back.
you're right. We gotta get there and be prepared to witness such a grand historical event that may or may not go very south, depending
Yes.
on
Just, I want
Some
time
people.
to be able to figure out what's actually going on.
Yes. And to plan for any contingencies.
Yes,
We
will
have to make it
very
historic.
carefully spy.
Yes, have to make it historic, have to make it memorable. And what's more memorable than, surprises?
Surprise!
Yes.
So, traveling along the path?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, I'll tell you what happens when you roll. So, on the hit, you reach the next clearing in a timely fashion. On a 10 plus, the trip is uninterrupted and quick. On a 7 to 9, you encounter something noteworthy on the path, like a caravan, battleground, or something odd passing through. On a miss, you are caught in the middle of a dangerous situation before you arrive at the next clearing. So you can choose your pace. One person will do the roll for the whole band. I don't think it uses any of your stats. So you can go at a relaxing pace, which clears 3 exhaustion. The band collectively marks a total of 2 depletion. So, like, not per person. This one is just collectively. And you have a -1 to the roll. An average pace. Everyone clears 2 exhaustion. You collectively mark 1 depletion, +0 to the roll. Safely, quickly, and under the radar. You collectively mark 1 depletion for supplies, +1 to roll. Urgently fast, everyone marks exhaustion, +2 to the roll.
Safely and
Yeah.
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 Safely, quickly, under the radar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you will just someone will mark 1 depletion. Maybe the guy who took 2 extra
Yeah.
value of supplies. I'm not saying someone has bags bursting at the seams with like food and stuff, but maybe a bit. And then since you spent the depletion, go ahead and roll Hector for the travel time.
+1, right?
Yes, +1.
11.
Ooh.
Perfect. You quickly and safely make your way across. I don't have to do any, encounters of anyone finding you.
And they'll never know we were coming.
Exactly. Let me tell you
Just
what
visiting my hometown.
Rooston looks like. So everyone knows that Rooston is the trade hub of the Woodland, and even from a distance, it is clear why. Robust piers have all manners of ships docked. They end at a sturdy stone lake wall. Rooston's trade buildings are mere feet away from the piers, with mainly mouse dock workers transporting goods to and from the vessels. The main market square is also a hub of trade, though most denizens give wide berth to, this is new to TAC, the large circular tent that is slightly off center from the rest of the square, rather awkwardly placed. A myriad of armed guards stand around it. They are mostly moles, but there are also a few badgers. All of the buildings here look newly repaired, with fresh, creamy plaster and crisscrossed wood beams that were recently stained. The uniform style, shape, and size of all the buildings is quite noticeable. So, this is like a city, as compared to many, not all other clearings, but this is a bustling trade hub. It is, as the map shows, it is the only clearing that has 5 connections. There's actually, I think this is new, a ferry line between it and Oakenhold. In the past, that was usually run by independent shipwrights who would run ferries, but now there's a reasonably priced paid ferry that will take people to and from that part of the lake. Yeah, so you're in a new clearing, Marsh.
Oh, hey, hey, of course I am. That is significantly better. My charm is, open the thing. I think it's +2. If it's +2, it's a 10. It's +2, so 10.
10, all right. Hey, someone comes by to greet you that is extra friendly. I wonder if it's just going to be your contact, because that would probably make things easier for all parties involved. Where did I write down their name? Oh, it's down here.
It's Jonas, right?
Jonas. Yep.
Yeah, Jonas.
Jonas. What species is Jonas?
A blue jay.
Blue jay. Okay. Are they he?
Yes.
Okay. So you have entered the town, you're looking around. I'm sure, Tack, you've taken a lead to, walking around. You've been here, you know where to avoid and so on.
Hopping, let's not be specious.
Where to go around. And Jonas actually comes up, gives V a quick wink, and then goes up to Marsh and says, the legend himself! And bows before, yes, Marsh.
Yes, it's me. I have no idea who you are. Hello, good to see you again. It's been so long.
It's good to see you too. It is I, Jonas.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Note to
Of
self.
course it is. And he will say, well, you're fresh into town, made pretty good time. I'm glad
yes. We have you are responsible, you to thank for the invitation to this wondrous wedding. Who's getting married?
Well, it's not exactly an invitation, but it is good that you're here. Come on, let's go. I got an old watering hole that would be a perfect place to chat. And he leads you around to a bar of some kind.
SJ, please speak back.
Sorry.
As for the punishment, you must tell me what the name of the bar you're going to is called.
Caddy Booze.
Caddy Boo. Oddly, not run by a cat.
There's like 2 T's that got crossed out, and
Yep.
there's D's above it. This used to be Marquisate territory.
Yes.
Exactly. So he takes you to Caddy Boo's, and there you can. He pulls up a table, orders a round of drinks, and tells you what is up. Do you guys want to hear the exposition now or next time?
Let's hear the exposition so we can think about it and plan and plot.
All right, perfect.
Yes.
Okay. So, here's the thing. So before I get started, I need like 3 names. So let's go fetch those so I don't interrupt my...
Well, Neltoth.
Ma Proxy.
Hold on. Some of these won't work.
And John Yu.
We have Jonas.
All right.
Oh,
all right,
is
hold
that okay?
Jonas is the
Yeah.
odd one.
Got it.
All right, I got...
Houston.
That's too many names now. Hold on. I need to decide where they're going. Hold on. So I'm going to name one of them Nelly. And I'm going to name one of them... Where were we pulling out the name from?
Proxima.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just go Prox. That we just take that. That's a good name, actually. Good job having a good name. And then
What'd you say, Sen?
I said Houston.
Justin.
Big mustache. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
perfect. This will be enough for now. All right. So, here's the deal, and why I think that you really wanted to be here, V. So, you know the great underground duchy, may they forever hold a place in our hearts, he says loudly enough for if anyone cares here. They don't. At any rate, so the marshal of the great underground duchy, he has a daughter. His daughter, Proxima. Proxima's getting married to Nelly, and Nelly wanted a destination wedding, and you know what's a good destination for them? That's right here, Rooston's surface wedding. Hasn't ever been done before. So I thought you'd be interested with that little tidbit to start with. They're inviting, like, the whole town. Everybody. Well, everybody who's important, right? I'm not important. You might not actually be important either.
I mean,
but listen,
Marsh is a celebrity.
But we have Marsh.
even you, they aren't the most trusting of vagabonds. You know how it is? You know how
But
it is.
surely they need somebody to record what happens.
and to perform.
They have people for that kind of thing, but good initiative thinking all that through. So Nellie's the one that insisted they come up here. So they have brought in all of the guards. The marshal sent a whole nother platoon up to, guard the wedding. Because you know what's going on? I think this is the most important part. One of the gifts, I've heard it through the grapevine, it's a actual military document, like the code and stuff of how the great underground duchy assigns their like a manual, like a military manual of how they do things. They're all about the paperwork, right?
Yes,
Those things
of course.
never come up here. But I mean, obviously, Proxima's dad wants the best for his girl, as far as her eventually probably becoming the marshal or whatever, right? So
Yes, of course. This could be a
That's gonna be
breakthrough in their record keeping and learning so much more about them. I've tried so hard to get into their records. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to hide yourself in an open tunnel?
Are we talking like an SOP, like their standard operating procedures, their actual doctrine, or like field manuals, or what?
Is it like command codes?
All of the above.
It's from a puppet show I saw once.
I would probably say, if anything, closer to the SOP. I don't know. I'm not really into that whole thing. But it's stuff that doesn't usually come surface side. But
And
the
if
gift
it were,
opening party's up here.
I can assume if it were to fall into the wrong hands, it might be. What I mean to say is, we should definitely do our best to ensure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands, because that would be a dreadful blow to the effectiveness of the mole army.
It sure could be.
Well, then we must protect it.
Says Jonas, staring directly at V.
And study it religiously. I mean,
Yeah, or maybe
anybody from studying it religiously.
Yeah, so, it's a party. I don't really have a way for you to get into the party, but I'm pretty sure you'll figure it out. And there's a lot of stuff happening. It's only in like a little under 2 weeks now, so you have plenty of time to figure out what you need to do. Maybe look around, ask some more questions about where everything might be. You know how it is. There's going to be a lot of important people here, a lot of expensive gifts being purchased and given. Historical event between two mole ladies.
So, what you're saying is we have to make sure that someone doesn't weasel their way in, by which I mean not me, but someone else doesn't find the manual and counterfeit it, leave the altered counterfeit one behind, and abscond with the real thing. I mean, it's not like everyone in this party isn't a trained counterfeiter.
Yes, nothing like that. Listen,
I'm quite friendly.
that's all I'm saying. If you have any questions for him, you can go ahead and ask them now while you're all having a polite conversation about what's going on here in
Did
town.
they hire any local help that you know of?
I mean, they must want to make this authentic, right?
They have hired some people for like doing the catering, though they have several taste testers, as you do. Maybe the decorations and stuff like that, but they have all of their own muscle for guards and stuff like that. Obviously, since they are in control of the clearing.
We have someone that could provide fireworks.
Well, or decorations. Volatile decorations.
Yes.
Like, you know how sometimes at a wedding you have a cake and the cake gets a little bit close to the fire and then things happen. We could be catering decorators or decorating caterers.
Yes. Does anyone know how to decorate a cake?
Of course I do. Look at my cloak. I'm a man of fashion.
I might. Yeah, no, we'll have to do some research. On
Look, it's memorable.
Cakes.
That's the important thing.
I don't want to offend them.
No, we don't want
I think
to.
they have notoriously bad eyesight, so it might be fine.
Exactly, we don't want to offend
The brighter it is,
them.
the better.
Yes, exactly. We don't want to offend them. We want to ensure that they are never offended again.
Right.
Seriously, though, what's wrong with your eye?
Nothing. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Maybe something is wrong. We'll go take a look at it over here. Jonas says, unsubtly dragging V out of the venue briefly to have a clandestine meeting in the alley while the rest of you joined food.
I don't like that.
Says, well, I mean, do you wanna sneak after him?
Yes.
All right, cool. Give me a sneak. Use that roguish trick.
Ooh, okay. I think my finesse is +2 as well. Yeah, so 10.
All right, perfect. I don't have to do anything. So you sneak after them, and therefore you're witness to this conversation that they have. I presume in a appropriately dimly lit alley with a variety of barrels and stuff around it, casting exactly the right shadow, even though it's the middle of the day. You know how it is. And he says, "Listen, V, I need a copy of that.
Yes, of course. I would be
Yes,
delighted.
I need a copy of that. It'll be one. Let's see, how much value? We'll just say it'll be two value. So it'll be this. Half a bag of coins for putting it away. It's like that much on delivery. I don't care if it's a copy as long as it's accurate.
Is it alright if there's multiple copies? I would
That,
like one for personal use.
that's fine, but it'll be one more value if they don't have a copy, or at least not a correct copy.
Of course. I do feel bad forging those documents, but we'd still have the real one. It will be fine.
Yes, yeah. Hope you're writing that. I think it's a pretty big book.
I'm swift.
So, all right. We're counting on you. And he gives you the secret COVID conspiracy fist bump.
The secret.
It's coughing.
No.
Not again.
Elbow bump.
Exactly. Before clapping you on the back, like, oh, I'm glad we took care of that eye problem, and you walk back in.
Yeah, thanks for all your medical advice.
So I put the leeches directly on the eyeball? That doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine. Hey, Tack, can you read a tense situation for me?
Dun dun dun.
What is that plus?
Cunning.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm positive. 8.
All right. You can ask one of the questions, and for my purposes, I would recommend what is the biggest threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Go with that.
Okay, so you just saw this conversation, and that is fine. And as you are looking around, you see a curious individual enter. You're pretty close to the main square, and you see an individual who's fairly unique looking. Go ahead and give what species are they? I'll work from there. You can just
Bat.
a bat. Okay, that's good. You see a bat enter the clearing, and you can immediately see this guy. If not a soldier, he's definitely a vagabond, like another individual vagabond that maybe you've seen around before. He looks a little shady, though, to be fair, you also look a little shady, so I mean, who's the judge here, really? But you see him, it seems to be obviously casing the area, looking at, like, the myriad duchy guards that are around. What you now all know, the tent is actually over the tunnel that they had dug up into the middle of the city. I'm sure Jonas had let you know about that, of where their tunnel ended up. Probably not the wedding location, but is something that needs to be guarded. You can't just have people entering your burrow whenever. So you can see this bat casing, like, how many guards are there, looking at a flyer that was announcing the wedding, because you saw those plastered pretty much all around town now that it was pointed out to you and stuff like that, before he wanders out of your sightlines. What do you do?
all of them.
Ooh.
All right. So the rest of you are enjoying lunch going like, where'd Tack go?
I have a wet rock in my hand that I'm petting, thinking that it's Tack. It's cold and slimy. It's the same thing. It's a little mossy, so it's
less
green.
wrinkly than it usually is.
Yeah. Shh. She's sleepy.
So quiet, so sleepy. Go ahead. I presume you're trying to follow subtly.
Yes.
So go ahead and give me another stealth roll here.
Makes me nervous because I've been getting good. Oh, fucking. I'm sorry.
Oh, frog it.
10 plus 2 is 12.
Haha.
Nice.
All right. So you continue your stealthing to follow him. You follow him for a good how long until someone gets bored at casing a place? I don't know, 20 minutes? That's how long I'd be bored after 5, to be honest. But
well, it's not just boredom. You don't want to be suspicious, so you only got a window to seem like you're just moseying around.
Yeah, no. Then you follow him for some time. He's looking around. It seems like he obviously has some interest in this this wedding situation, and I think you're able to find where he gets lodging for the evening. It's a nearby inn that has a name. What's the name, Tack? This is my favorite thing.
Rogers.
Roger's Respite.
Yeah, there we go.
Perfect. All right.
Roger the Raccoon.
In there. All right, hold on. I gotta add into my NPC list here. Roger the Raccoon. You want to put? There's a Batman that you were following.
Right.
His name is indeed Bruce.
Yes.
I'm glad this is happening. So yes, you see where he checks in, and you do end up overhearing his name when he's in this process. Because he's a guy who actually checks in with his real name. Why not? All right. Go ahead. What do you do?
I'm gonna act after he goes up to his room or whatever. I'm gonna act like I'm just asking around for lodging. We do actually need lodging, don't we?
Actually, I believe since you rolled real well, Jonas is going to hook you up.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
perfect. But they don't know that, so I'm just asking around for lodging.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go up to the. Actually, I might go back and have Marsh come back and do this.
Okay.
I'm not good at talking to people.
Fair.
But I would like to report back, and then I'll investigate with the group.
All right. So the rest of the group, Tack has been to the bathroom for quite some time.
No,
What
Tack's
were
sitting
y'all
right
talking
here in my
about?
lap.
Oh yeah, Tack's right there. So small, easily confused with rocks.
Yes.
Yes.
Tack probably provided this rock as a distraction.
Yes. No, because Tack's a ninja. Tack's just slip it into the pot, and I'm just like, oh, sweet little Tack. Go to bed. Go to bed now.
It was such a
Were
long
the rest
walk.
of you were the rest of you doing anything while Tack was out?
I am in a drinking competition down at the bar.
Good. I'm glad that that's happening.
Hector,
You
what a lush.
wagering anything, or is it just like a competition that they're doing?
No, it's just pride and ego.
Okay.
You know.
Just your dignity.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't
Jonas is just sitting there going all like, my tab. My tab.
Can I use the move the worth of a book? So when you study your tomes and scrolls to discover old techniques or methods to solve an intractable problem, like curing a deadly disease, ending a drought, legally unseating a leader, sneaking your way into a mole party, I would like to do that.
Did you say legally unseating a leader?
Yes.
Let's store that for a second. Go ahead.
We'll use that in the next campaign.
Yeah.
When we're actually causing more political problems on purpose.
Yes.
On purpose. Instead of by accident this time
Exactly.
on purpose.
Yeah, next time we'll do it intentionally, maybe. Depending on which side we actually wind up helping.
So yeah, go ahead and roll that, because I'm probably going to have to do some thinking. Which is unfortunate for me personally.
Do I roll plus anything?
Do you even roll?
No, maybe not.
There's no
No,
roll.
I
No,
don't.
I just
I
tell you
don't.
conditions.
Yeah,
Yes,
you just tell
the
me.
worst move for me personally.
Yeah, because I don't have to roll anything.
Well, and you can think about
So-
it. I mean, we can, if you need the time to think about it and work it into the narrative,
we'll
we can.
probably have that set up for next time. So remind
Sounds
me.
good.
But you can tell me your goal is to the knowledge of how to best sneak into a wedding to steal the presents.
Yes.
Okay.
So probably consulting any books that I have about potential mole culture, like how would we get involved with that,
Yeah,
war courting rituals, and
Oh,
all of that fun, fascinating stuff that I just love.
lots of like nose tentacle drawings because they have those little starfish noses. Oh, don't even think
Yeah,
about it.
those ones
Well,
I'm not
some of
reading
them
in front
do.
of you guys. Those ones are for bedtime. Reading later, when nobody can look over my shoulder and see.
Fritz, what are you up to?
Fritz is entertaining themselves with their lighter that is of no significant value in a corner.
Please tell me it doesn't have any fluid.
I mean, technically, I'm not too sure if we'll have like lighters that work like that, but I
It's
presume
probably
you
just
have.
Box of matches or something.
Yeah, you matches or just like a little.
Watching a bird.
It's
Yeah,
it's
burning
one of
it
those.
down to the nib.
Maybe it's like a striker. Those
Yeah.
metal things that make sparks.
Oh god,
Yeah.
no, that's terrible.
I know, that's
Burn the
right.
place down.
So every 5 minutes, it's like you have to just go over and slap out a smoldering fire.
I'm just like sitting next to Fritz, and I'll just use my tail to whap it out anytime the building starts to catch on fire.
Just a little bit of
Whack,
fire
whack, whack.
as a treat.
That's a treat.
All right, well, Tack, you arrive and everyone's up to a variety of things.
What? You're a magician, Tack.
Tech's been gone for a while, Marsh.
No, Tack is. Oh. Oh, you.
And I'll
Then I will grab Tack and put Tack in my in my lap and then begin petting Tack. And it's like deep pets that pulls your big bulgy frog eyes back.
Oh god.
Stroke. What were you saying, sweetie?
I was gonna tell you about some stuff I saw while I was exploring, some stuff that was different from when I was here last.
Okay, tell us your story.
Just you.
Okay, tell me your story.
Is everybody else around right now?
Yeah.
Hector's at the bar.
Right.
Fritz probably is at the far end of the table. I don't know, V, you've probably been talking with Jonas.
But yeah, I think V's distracted talking to Jonas, also reading the book, and keeping Fritz from lighting the place on fire.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty occupied at the moment.
I think you can pull Marsh aside.
Yes. Or I can just hold you up to my ear.
Yeah, that works.
Everyone's
So-
about the same size.
In my head.
For flavor.
For flavor. Is speaking of flavor, is Tack that kind of frog?
What do you mean?
Like the kind you want to lick.
Oh. Probably more like a tree frog style, like
Like it Oh, I know.
A dart frog. I don't
I was
want to be
gonna say.
poisoned.
Poison.
Party favor right here. This wedding's gonna be
A
lit.
psychedelic.
Right.
This delicious treat we brought from
Right.
wild lands.
So what's up, buddy?
So I'm gonna tell him about what I heard between V and Jonas first. And I'm gonna mention this bat figure that seemed to be casing the area.
Ooh.
Not sure if they're a member of a certain faction or if they're just a vagabond, what their intentions are, but they checked into this inn under the name Bruce.
Bruce the Batman. Interesting. Well, I think we should look into it. I also think having another interested party could... Are you familiar with the term patsy?
Is this like we're using them to get our stuff
Well,
done?
more like, we do some things, and then if things go south, there's another party that could take the blame. Yes, scapegoat, yes. I just didn't think that was right to mix the animal metaphors.
There are goats.
Yes.
There's probably one right across the bar.
Yeah, one of them goes,
In the
what?
drinking contest.
What? It's like, not you. Yes, I
would
think
like to know what they're up to, just because if they are after the same thing, that could pose a problem if they get to it first, or them just causing an issue. I mean, it could be advantageous, could be disadvantageous.
we get the book, create the fake copy, create a copy of the fake copy, create a real copy, keep the real book, give the real copy to Jonas, give one of the fake copies to Batman, and one of the fake copies stays.
We just got to make sure we don't mix up these copies.
I know, right? It'll be fine.
The other issue is, how do we copy something we don't have?
I know, right? That's what I'm thinking. We have to get it.
I mean, I can make up some doctrine.
Well, we have to get a look at it to get a general sense of the contents, so that on a quick perusal, it would appear to be legitimate. It's going to
At the very
take
least, the
time.
cover.
Well, yeah, it's going to take time for us to craft, what is it, 3 or 4 or 5 reasonable facsimiles. Well, we don't have much time. Anyway, yeah, I mean, we'll have to get some look at it first to take notes and get a sense of the lay of the land, and then make the copies and then do the old switcheroo. I like my plans complicated and dramatic.
Yeah, only several points of failure.
Well, I mean, if things go really, really wrong, we just blow the whole thing up. We're really good at
Cover
that.
Fritz's ears.
Yeah, we're really good at that. It'll be fine.
Your ears are burning.
Yeah. So is their tail. But that's fine. Yes. I think we should find out what's going on with the Batman, and then have a planning session, and then tomorrow we leap into action.
I think starting with the bat is a good idea.
Yes.
I agree with that course of action.
Excellent. I always like having you on my side.
I like having you on my side too, because I would prefer not to talk to the innkeeper.
Well, they might step on you or something. You're so wee.
Cat continues to be not that small.
I know, right?
Probably like
Just
slightly
like
smaller.
a normal, smaller amount.
Right, exactly.
It's also like I have a little bit of the hunch, so it makes me even smaller.
Oh, I'll look at Nyx.
Aw.
He likes playing fetch with the hoodie string. So.
Are you gonna go check out the inn right now?
I think we can do that next time, don't you?
Okay. All right. So
Because we probably want
plans
to pull the team in so we can
Yeah.
case the joint, etc.
I mean,
Even though it's going to
to
go flawlessly, so it's not going to take much time.
I was going to see if I could threaten one of you with a knife at the end, but that's fine. We'll end here with everybody hanging out at the bar.
I had a sense.
making plans. I'll get to the knife next time.
Instead, it's someone with a broken bottle mad at Hector.
Yes.
Exactly.
go.
I mean, we could start a bar fight. No, I don't think that's
And then
necessary.
Hector pecks their
Well,
eyes
every
out, and then we wind up
TTRPG
in
does with a bar scene,
prison.
right?
Yeah.
All right. So I think that concludes our first session.
Cool.
Huzzah. And I'll
Nice.
start off with the exit thing. So let's see. I am Misha, or Misha_lesson3, or Misha Weha on Twitter. You'll see me here next. If things go correctly, it might be tomorrow night, but it depends on responsibilities and work. If we can squeeze in some Teen Magic Academy stuff going on, but otherwise it will be next week Thursday for the continuation of a traveling band, and we can go on to Tough.
Hi, I am 90 Tough Lover, Tough for Torpleton, or some other variety of nickname. I'm also a variety streamer on Twitch. I play lots of different games. I also sometimes run games, somewhat similar to this. I have an ongoing Masks campaign that we will be picking up on Sunday at around 4 p.m. Central Time. And then I'm also in a bunch of other Masks games, and I think we're continuing Masks Rainbow at some point in July, and then I'll figure stuff out from there. And then I'll also be back here next Thursday for more Traveling Band. So, yeah, go Sin.
Hi, I'm Sin, or sinful__potato. I'm at the username on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I post arts to Instagram. I exist on Twitter. I post to YouTube occasionally. Nothing on TikTok. It's empty. And I occasionally stream on Twitch eventually. The next time you'll see me here is possibly tomorrow for Teen Magic Academy. If not, the following Thursday for this, or on Tuff's channel with her masks at 4 p.m. Central. Or just in random people's Twitch channels, chats. Yeah. Why?
Hi, I'm Twi'lek. I have been playing as Hector. I am unable to return to 2 clearings so far, and there are 10 more to go. I will see you all soon. SJ.
I am SJ, or SJ_sidekick. I am under that username everywhere, unless it doesn't allow you to have an underscore. Don't stream, but I'm on here a lot. I run Teen Magic Academy, which hopefully happens tomorrow. If not, it'll happen next weekend. Then obviously I'll be back for this.
Beautiful. And I'm Zero Delight, or Michael. You can catch me a couple times a week here, often running, but sometimes when someone is gracious enough to run, getting a chance to play. And then on Wednesdays, I'm over playing at the Duckwork channel. And on Sundays at the Juices TV program and Listen to channel, we do something similar, kind of like one-shot, two-shot, silly, very small, usually RPGs. Next, coming up, hopefully Friday for Team Magic Academy. And on Sunday, I think we're doing Bronan the Brobarian. It is a very silly, like, mashup of Beastmaster and Conan and Willow and other stuff all crammed together. It'll be very, I'm sure, very deep and dramatic, and or a total chaos fire. We'll see. Oh, hey, that's all of us. We should probably go. Yeah, we should probably go and raid someone. Let me scroll over 15 square feet of.
Meg's on.
What?
Yeah, she's doing a late night stream, prepping for. Oh, Meg's got her skinathon tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow she has her skinathon, so she's prepping.
Yeah,
okay.
Prepping for that late night.
So, I assume if you are here, you know Mag. If you don't, well, now you do. So we should definitely go say hi to her. Did I type it right? Got her name right on the first try. Tough. I have no idea what's going on with my fingers. 9-7 Torflorf. I don't know what I was doing. But anyway,
All those dang
awesome.
nicknames.
Yes, so we're gonna go say hi to Meg, show her all the love. Oh, awesome, thank you. And we'll drop the other one in too. So grab one of those raid calls, the one with the hype unicorn and the die, and the ahoy whale is for subs, and the one with the emoticon is for everyone else. So go drop those into her chat, show her the love, and tomorrow night plan on dual streaming, watching us, and also participating in Meg's Skinathon, because that's going to be awesome. So thanks, everyone, and we will see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.